Good afternoon and welcome to CBC's live coverage of the Barbados Invitational Masters Football Classic Over 50s Final. Yours truly, Trevor Thorne from Commentator Sports Incorporated. Alongside me, the maestro himself, Keith Grell Griffith. And on the outside, covering all those interviews of CSI, young Marley Leacock. Welcome on this Whitsun Monday. Dayland Masters up against Paradise Masters. The Paradise team this evening cladded in all yellow and kicking from left to right and going from right to left. It's the Winston Enterprises Dayland Masters Over 50s team. This is the final of the Over 50s Cup final. As you say good evening to the maestro, Keith Grell Griffith. How's it going on your side, Keith?
Blessings, Trevor. Blessings, Barbados, and wherever you are. A fantastic setting here at the National Stadium. The team's looking resplendent as ever. Paradise, all yellow with blue stripes, and Dayland Masters, black shorts, and is that tangerine or orange?
It's more orange, Keith. More like an orange, yeah, for sure, this evening.
So
all set and ready to go.
So we're looking for a very, very good match. Lots and lots of persons are here at the National Stadium. The game is off and flowing. For the running commentary, Trevor Thorne, top striker for Barbados, Empire, etc., etc.
Right, so we're 10 seconds into this one, and Paradise in possession on the right-hand side. Richard Wood would have slotted that one on the inside, but then robbed of it this time by Sergio Clark there, as Dayland get their first touches together in this, the final of the Over 50s Barbados Invitational Masters Football Classic for 2022. We're back playing football again. We are the first association. We're making history this evening, Keith. The first association to be able to weather the storm and bring back football to the National Stadium #1 and to the island of Barbados as well. And what a way to do it. If you're going to do it, you must do it in style. You invite international teams. They've managed to organize themselves as far as the COVID protocols go and be here to play in this international here. So this is going to be a superb entry for Bimfc as they go in search of more growth when it comes to bringing football to the communities and the parishes of Barbados, as well as to the world as well. First time they're going on to national TV with the help of Gary and Rivellino here, and of course CBC, of course, as we welcome you to this particular match. It's just about a minute and a half into it. No real salvos yet, Keith. The two teams feeling one another out now. Just a decent ball down the Dayland right, and the ball over the touchline. Score 0-0 between Dayland Masters in the bright pink and Paradise Masters.
Well, a very positive start by both teams. They're trying to control the ball, knock it around with authority and conviction. And I must say that the fans are out in numbers, Trevor, and I must applaud yourself, Melvin Oibo Oxley, and young Julian Anil, the men who have worked assiduously to get this tournament going, and to have live coverage on CBC 8 TV is outstanding. So even though you're not scoring lots of goals no more for Empire and Gold Hill, etc., you have still scored a magnificent goal. And I feel blessed and honored to be here with you, and to all my fans and to all my family and friends. It's a wonderful feeling to be here at the National Stadium. So 0-0 as we roll inside the 5 minutes mark. Dayland Masters 0, Paradise 0.
The ball down the left-hand side for Dayland. They're really trying to work this left-hand side in the first couple of minutes. Perhaps that's where they see the weak points of this Paradise unit. This is Clark in possession, plays the prodded ball, cut out at the back this time, as Paradise now looking to make their way up. And John Griffith, wearing the number 14 for Paradise, miscontrols. And ironic enough, Keith, Griffith is he's a BFA referee, but he's turned player just for the Masters here. But you know, he would have started his career as a footballer first and then elevated his status to refereeing as well. Referee has an issue with that challenge and immediately goes for the top left-hand pocket and flashes the yellow card on this occasion. A bit too ambitious there by the Paradise, in fact by the Yes, we definitely saw by the Paradise left back there, right back in John Griffith, and the yellow card on just about 4 minutes, Keith.
I would say that was a malicious tackle, unnecessarily so. If you're a master, you need to take your time, play with style, finesse and passion, but at the moment, that was a reckless challenge and definitely a free kick to Bailan. They float the ball inside the area, Paradise to defend.
They're playing very well, and they've knocked the ball back off the head of the defender onto the former national keeper. Albert Braffett is also a former BDF sports program man as well, so he's got caliber in those goals as well. Lots of international matches behind that name as well, Albert Braffett, in the days of Kevin Millard, and I believe you would have coached him as well, Keith.
Yeah, he's an outstanding keeper along with Horace Brigel-Stow. He was one of the real good products in the BDF program, played for Barbados, very strong keeper, and it is amazing, Trevor, that these guys are now playing masters, but we expect that if they're masters to see some finesse and some skill, a little bit of panache in between, but in general, I would want the discipline to be of the highest order. 0-0 the scoreline, we're inside the first 10 minutes. Paradise 0, Bailan Masters 0.
A splendid day as well to have the two finals. We did have a few showers yesterday afternoon, sent the crowd scampering, but since then the rain has settled down, and we're seeing now a really luscious outfield prepared by the National Sports Council and the staff at this National Stadium as well. It's the best I've seen the National Stadium in a long while. I remember playing on it in my national days, and it wasn't up to this standard, and I must say kudos to that crew from the National Sports Council, Miss Burton and the rest of the crew over there would have really done a really good job to get this prepared. Shot coming in just past the far post, and that would have had Albert Braffett scampering there, Keith, because that was a snapshot from the right hand side, and Braffett left in no man's land, but the luck was with him and it floated to the outside for a goal kick.
But that was a good move from the Bailan Masters. They came down the right attacking side, and majestically he played the ball forward, and then when the shot came in, it was just going agonizingly close to the right upright. Braffett stranded in the middle, but in the end, safety for Paradise. Paradise 0, Bailan Masters 0.
As we see the first casualty of the finals, we're seeing a bit of a hamstring, I think, injury there, or calf injury for the Paradise player there, easing off the field of play. But this is rolling subs, so he can make his way back onto the field if he so desires, if the coach sees it that they need him to actually finish this particular match. But the nice thing about Masters is you roll on and you roll off for as many minutes as you care to. You run out of steam, that's when you call for a sub, and you keep the quality of the game high, as if the coach knows exactly what he's doing. But if he has any kind of inclining of favoritism and he keeps the 11 out there, they could easily run out of steam.
But if you're a very good coach, you must know the tactical and the technical aspects of the game and keep the subs rolling accordingly. There's no point in having so many subs on the bench and then you letting one person play and, as you say, run out of steam and then don't bring someone else in. But we're inside the first 10 minutes, no goals as yet, an excellent setting, and I must say that I feel totally blessed to be here again because I made a big impact early on in my career playing at the opening of the stadium against Venezuela. That was long ago, 1970s. And then, if you remember, Trevor, you were here with me not to commentate, but when you guys got together and put on that benefit match to assist me with getting the prosthesis, that was 2016 in December. And now I am here with the first time live coverage on TV for Masters football. So I feel totally blessed. To all of those fans and friends and family out in Wildy and Pinelands where I reside, thank you very much for your blessings. And to each and every one who have wished me well, along with yourself, Trevor, and they're listening and enjoying the commentary. No goals in the opening minutes. Paradise 0, Bailan Masters 0. I don't have to tell you where Bailan Masters come from. That's the hometown of one of the greatest sportsmen ever in Barbados, the maestro himself, and the greatest cricketer of all time, Sir Garfield Sobers, and he also played for the Bailan team. Notre Dame is the name at club level. And Paradise, obviously, is from right on Dover. So two teams with magnificent histories and a good record. 0-0 the scoreline, Paradise 0, Bayland Masters 0.
So there's Paradise deep on the left-hand side of the pitch. To get a couple of passes, there's a trip again. So the game, a bit stop and start here. But you would expect that. The nerves are still jangling on the inside, and they just can't really get their composure together. Up at stake is the actual trophy itself, and it's a beauty this time. We've been to one of our sponsors in getting this trophy, these trophies in our grasp, and we must say thank you very much to General Manager of Infinity on the Beach Hotel, Rennie Copping, who came and sat at the table with us and completely just asked us how can she help for this tourism product, because as it is, it's not just a football tournament, it's basically tourism in another form. Because what's happening is you get a team like Cockney Rebels from 4,000 miles away in the UK, and they've been doing this for 25 years. They deserve more than a prize. So, you know, the fact that Renee has, you know, blessed us with her her funds as well as in order to get those trophies, and put the company to back us as well. Infinity on the Beach Hotel and Pirates Inn is the one that she's in control of. She's also head of the BHTA as well. So they're supposed to raise many hats, and she can see the vision of Melvin Ibo, Oxley, Julian Anil, and yours truly to make this tournament not only the biggest, which it is right now, but the best in the region, and then stretch it across the diaspora as well. So that's exactly where we're going with this. Former national players giving back to football. All three played for national teams here in Barbados at some point in time, so we feel obligated that we should give back, and this is the way we've found it, being given it to us for the former administrators, and we used our skill to bring it to this level. Here we are on 10.5 minutes. We're still awaiting the first goal, Keith. No real salvos in and around the 18 box, you must say, but surely with the magic of the likes of Richard Wood, who's playing in the Paradise midfield, he has tons of goals in him. Here he is now on the ball, takes one and is fouled in the process, overcomes referee Adrian Goddard. Is he reaching? No, he's not. He will almost look as though he's going to help Wood up, but Wood can make it on his own. But this is the skill of the man, so you would expect that Wood will come into his own at any point in time now, Keith, and perhaps have a shot on goal for the Paradise Masters 50th edition. Or on the other hand, if you look at the Winston Enterprises Bayland, Elwin Oxley, the former national volleyballer, is also a striker, and he does very well in putting the ball into the back of the nets. As we say good evening to Trevor Taylor, who coordinates the referees this evening at the National Stadium. Him, along with the likes of Santa, as he's known in circles, has been able to pull off a bit of a miracle here, because we've had 4 locations and been able to service them with all. Down the left-hand side, this is Paradise. Would he look to float it? No, he doesn't. He builds it up on the inside. Wood comes across. He has to evade the tackle, and we welcome the first corner kick of the evening to the Paradise lads. They've applied the pressure, Keith, and they've been rewarded with a corner kick on the left-hand side after 12 minutes. After
good movement down the left, Paradise decided that they will cut the ball across the area, but in the end, intelligent defending by the Bayland Masters, and they've conceded a corner on the left attacking side of the midfield. So it is relevant that Paradise would be moving forward very, very, very strongly, and hopefully we will see some goals coming as the game continues. So Paradise 0, Bayland Masters 0, ball down the left side, good interception. Paradise will have to try again, because at the moment there is no room for them to create the opportunity to even get a shot in. So Paradise 0, Bayland Masters 0.
As we pick up the running commentary again, Paradise with Dwayne Morris looking to make his way forward. He's tricked in the process. And this game is all about stop and start. The man in the middle, Adrian Goddard, he's got a tough game on his hands, Keith, because he's constantly putting that whistle to his mouth and still sprinting to the spot, so that there's no afters, there's no facing off against one another to keep the game on the... Here's Wood with the attacking header, saved that near post. And That one almost evading Richard Wood, but he did manage to get his head on it and be able to put it towards the goal. But in the end, it was so easy for the keeper to deal with. And here comes the Bailan now down the left hand, down the right hand side now. They're in on goal. The ball threaded through the space. Just a bit too much on it, and it's getting away from him. Manages to control. Over to the left hand side, Paradise. Prodding and probing down there, left, and having to defend now because Bailan are in possession. The right foot shot coming in. And there's Raffit, capable as ever at his near post to snatch that one and distribute. He's giving away possession again though. And the Bailan-based team is in fact knocking it around on the right hand side. A lot of ladies in the house this evening as well, Keith.
Lots of ladies in the house.
We've really attracted a big crowd here. And there's more to come. 2023 is looking bigger. We're also attracting the attention of the Argentinians. Ball inside, a little bit of a skip around. Carter sees nothing wrong with it, and the player goes tumbling over. No problems there for Paradise as they come out of their defense now. Threaded ball, Wood, one-on-one. Does he have the beating of the defender? Yes, he does. Defender gets back very well. Wood in possession. Will look to, doesn't generally go on his own. Feeds it. Overlapping ball. This is beautiful stuff from Paradise and John Griffith on the right-hand side. The referee turned player again, and the cross doesn't match the control that he had there, keeping the ball over the crossbar for a Bailan goal kick. 15 minutes on the clock, and we're still awaiting that very first goal for celebration.
Well, that is the best move from the Paradise team so far, but in the end, the accuracy of the cross was not there. They will have to go and come again. As the younger generation would say, wheel and come again. Paradise probing and searching, can't find at the moment. They go forward again down the middle. Paradise nil, Bailan Masters nil.
So in the middle of the midfield, Dwayne Morris, he seems to have a lot of this ball for the Paradise lads. He's playing in that central position, which he should. And Bailan now in possession on the right. Little foot pass, charge between the two players there, and another one. He's riding those tackles very well. If he got it, says no. It's a free kick. 16 in, Keith.
Yeah, the referee was right on the spot. He has done a good job so far. And you were speaking about the ladies at football, but even the women are on the field, on the side. Well, you know the ladies better than I do, who are the assistant referees, and you would want to tell them who they are at the moment.
The ball is about to restart. 95 goals. I believe Bailan will want to have a say in this next couple of minutes. They haven't had a full heap of the ball, but they've been able to make some headway whenever they've had it. Wood with good control inside. Paradise again losing possession into the middle of the midfield. This is Clark into the deep right midfield position. There's so much giving away of the ball, Keith, that, you know, to flow in your commentary, a team has to have the ball a whole lot more generally, and that gets the commentary going, and it even gets the commentator up off his seat to really do a good job. Decent ball down the right, asking a lot, but he squares. Defensive header. Bailan lift to fight another day. 17 and a little bit on the clock. We're still awaiting that first goal between Jets in yellow, Paradise Masters from Dover, and the Bailan Masters.
What has happened so far in the opening 15 minutes? They're not spreading the ball well enough. They're packing the center of the play, and they're not really opening the game up. And like you said at the start of the game, the stadium is in magnificent condition, superb condition. And really, I know as you put your hands to your lips, you wish that you were there, because this is the kind of field that you like, where you scored so many goals. And truly, the players need to spread the ball a little more, make better passes. They're masters. They're not has-beens. They're masters. So open the play up, lots of 1- and 2-touch play, and we will see a game with a bit more panache. But at the moment, Bailan Masters nil, Paradise nil.
So there we have it again. Paradise looking to push forward. The ball came to Edwin Gibson, the number 5. He's an Englishman, you know, Keith. Came over, I believe, in the late 80s, and has now entrenched himself into the Paradise Masters setup, not only as a footballer, but as an administrator as well. He dealt with him in the registration process and so on. He's a pleasant fella, getting his registration forms and fees in and so on. And he's shown an extra quality. Players don't normally go on to do management of teams. They may coach a lot, but not necessarily management. One or two fall into commentating. Left foot shot coming in. This is Gooding, I believe it is, wearing the number 13.
But that is not a free kick. That is a rugby kick, not soccer kick whatsoever. High, no kind of penetration, nothing, very poorly taken by the Paradise team. But at the moment, they're still probing, they're still searching, they can't find scoreline. At the moment, Baylan Masters going down the right. This could be a threatening move. We wait to see. This is a good ball in. Oh, his control has let him down. But that is the best move I've seen for the afternoon. A sweeping ball down the right. The cross was almost perfect, but in the end, Trevor, it ran away from the Baylan Masters. Baylan Masters 0, Paradise 0.
You definitely need it to foot, Keith, because it won't be easy as the ball comes off the slippery surface. We've had a few showers in the early morning. It dried out a bit, then we got some more just around 12ish. So what you're seeing here looks like a perfectly dry pitch, but it does have sprinkles of rain, which we saw previously, and I think that's affecting them just a bit, including in that we'll be trying to get the ball exactly where we want. That's a superb ball inside the box, cleared by defender into Crony. First touch isn't that great, gives away possession. Chance for the left foot shot coming in. This is Davis, he's struggling a bit. He controls the ball, Keith, but he allows it to run over the goal line and give away a really cheap goal kick to the Paradise lads, just when they needed punishing for the defensive tactics that they used.
Well, that is very, very, very true. At the last 2 to 3 minutes, Baylan Masters looked capable of breaking down the Paradise defense, but the final ball inside the final third has not been as good as it should be, and therefore they would have to wheel and come again. The ball is down the right with Paradise. Paradise 0, Baylan Masters 0.
So that one's skipping in over the touchline for the umpteenth time. And just about 21 minutes in, and the substitutes continue to roll. And we're hoping that one of the two teams will get it right. Ball down the left-hand side. The Baylan Masters, nice little touch on the inside. He finds Crony instead of his own man. And the Paradise guys coming over their defense now. 4 touches on it, and looking to make their way up the field. In possession, yes, for sure. Referee's whistle again, as the infringement has been called on the. It's a yellow card coming as well. So, for pulling the shirt or something like that.
Yeah, pulling him back because he left his man for dead for sure, and he was away and running. But in the end, the referee, who has had a very good 20 minutes so far, has been consistent with his calls, and it's a free kick to Paradise. But that is good football, and in the last few minutes, I have noticed they're probably listening to the commentary because they have begun to play the ball wide, Trev.
They definitely saw this as a dangerous ball here, hits the crossbar, comes down, and oh yes, he's brilliant enough to catch it on his second time of asking. He needed some medical attention. I think he might have taken the boot somewhere in the upper body there, Keith, and here comes the medic, Jamal, I believe is the gentleman on the front, leading the charge, and he has his partner with him as well. So nice work being done by Bimfc there, making sure that medics are on the scene, because Masters you're not 2 mornings for any kind of injury. You want to see to it as quickly as possible, and it's sprinted onto the field of play. Now some treatment here. Here it is again, ball into the air. The keeper not sure. He tries to play it onto the crossbar. The boot came in from Tyrone Mears, the substitute that came onto the field a couple of minutes ago. He got a handshake from his teammate for putting that boot in, but that must have hurt the keeper a whole lot. But balls that are loose, 50-50 though, Keith, in the game of football.
Yes, the keeper went for the ball correctly. Obviously, the striker was looking for the ball to come out of his arms and tap it in. But in the end, justice was served. No goals, and the crowd continued to build up. There's lots of room here at the stadium. The stadium is in immaculate condition. The playing field, I have never seen the field looking so luscious, Trevor. If it was different, I know you would want to be out there and get a hat trick, because you're famous for scoring hat tricks, not only for Impang Goal Hill, but I'm certain that you got 1 or 2 for Barbados.
I'm in the teens, Keith. I played, I believe it is, I think it's about 18 or so international games, and my tally, I believe, is somewhere around 14 or so. So that's more than a goal a game. And as you know, in some of those matches, they scored hat tricks. Hat tricks against Guyana, hat tricks. I lose track now because they're fighting for those records, and I believe the likes of Llewellyn Riley is also another man with a hat trick or 2. If you're going to be a good striker, you want to be really prolific, so that your name stands up in history. So in trying to better my game, I would have broken a few records along the way. That's just the way it is. Huh?
I had the blessed privilege of being your coach at one time, and I admire you for your tenacity and the ability to be in and around the box at all times and put the ball successfully into the back of the net. So even though you're not playing Masters, I still want to congratulate you on your outstanding performances during the game. For the fans at home, you're not missing anything at the moment. The Magic's still on the field, and the game competitive. And remember, they're the Masters, and they are over 50.
Yep, that's exactly what it is, Keith. Just continue to remind the viewing public, yes, these are the 50s, the 50 and over category. And therefore not moving as fast as the over 40s would be, because obviously these are older legs and played a lot more games, having been around the game for a whole lot longer, and therefore just keep that in mind as well. But the main thing is that we've tried to raise the level of the quality of pitches that the Masters will use, and Bimfc has a philosophy basically of we always want to play where the facilities are top notch. So therefore you will always find there's top bathroom facilities. You guys can take a shower whenever they want to, and you can bring your family and friends and let them go. And the whole open area, as you can see, this is a massive area here at the National Stadium, and therefore conducive to family entertainment like Masters football. That's what we try to do, and of course the playing surface must be of a certain caliber, otherwise we're just not using it. And that's the way we feel to get to a world-class level. That's a threaded ball inside. Offside is the call on the far side, and Paradise take possession and try to thread it through a space very quickly off to this right-hand side. But I think referee Adrian Goddard is not happy where the ball was restarted from.
It was rolling, the ball was rolling also.
Actually on the move, so he's decided he needs to go all the way back to just beyond the 18-yard box and start it all over again. But it gives the teams a chance for a breather. And we're just a couple of minutes in before the half-time whistle though, Keith. And tactically, you was a top coach and obviously a technical director in your days. What does a team like Paradise or even Bayland have to do to get the ball into the back of the net and take this title?
What they would have to do, based on what we have seen so far in the opening half, is, like I said, play the ball down the flanks. And once you got good players with good speed, you play the ball tactically down the wings, cut it across the area, and if they have strikers like yourself and Jerry Goddard, Llewellyn Riley, Patrick Hewitt, to name a few, then a goal or two would come. At the moment, it's a little too crowded in the middle, but you have to understand, if you're watching it from at home, they played earlier today. In the early hours, they were playing preliminary matches.
The two teams.
The two teams. So now they played semi-finals, and now they're here in the finals. So hopefully we will have some goals for you at home, and for all of those friends and family, like I said at the beginning, who sent me those messages wishing me well and thanking yourself, Tava, and your committee and CBC for allowing me to come here and share commentary with you. I feel totally blessed. Have a blessed evening, each and every one, and have a nice refreshment. You can have coconut water, a Sprite, not more than one, but we are back to the game as Bayland Masters go forward.
So we need a piece of magic here, Keith. Will it come? Definitely not at this stage. That's the clearance by Paradise. He lands on his backside, but doesn't really care because the team hasn't been able to bulge the old onion bag there. As we say good evening to Ayers Meat Shop, yep, and Terry's Food Truck. We know you're back in the skies. Former national players doing business on the home front here. Chance here for Paradise now, inside the box, tries to take out Coney, he's injured himself in the process. Coney finds an outlet in John Griffith. Griffith with the left foot pass, and receiving a sweet little 1-2, skips past that defender, gets up 2 and tries a threaded ball to Tyrone Mears. All acres of space, he'll need to square it, he does so now, chance here, oh, it's saved by keeper Gregory Yardine. Up from that injury to the neck, Keith, and sprinting away to his right, then he dives on it and takes it on the second time of asking, and he's got the wherewithal to give us a bit of show about it as well along the way. That's the first real salvo coming from Bailan Master, coming from Paradise, and it came through the overlapping work from John Griffith, number 14, and he played Tyrone Mears, and Mears spreading it across the box, but still we wait for that very first goal.
The younger generation would say, Coach, that was easy. The leg full ball played from the right, and like I said a moment ago, once you go down the flanks, you would get the opportunities to create a goal scoring opportunity. And I believe, Trevor, that he should have tucked that into the far corner, but surely a good move by Paradise, but in the end, no goals. And to the two brothers, I wish them well. They're doing some very good work off the field. Here and Terry Seeley, continue the good work. And if you are feeling hungry after the game, head straight to Worden Court, and there is Terry's food truck. And if you need to buy meat for tomorrow, go up to here in Silver Hill and Gold Hill. Two outstanding Barbados players, two good brothers, good persons. Blessings to each and every one. At the moment, Bailan Masters 0, Paradise 0. Paradise with the best chance of the night. Ball played down the left. We'll wait to see what happened. That will not be Buffett this evening or tomorrow evening. 0-0 the score.
Just about 30 minutes on the clock. Time added on for stoppages. I make it now, Keith. We've just clicked past the 30-minute mark. So it's all in the hands of referee Goddard at this point in time. That is a wayward cross.
Trevor, excuse me?
And Keith,
was it a cross?
Well, I'm not sure if you want to be so unkind to a man by the name of Sherlin Gibbons.
Is that Sherlin for the Barbados striker?
That's
you played with him, Trevor. I can't believe it. No, look, I can see the walk there. Yes?
Yeah.
An excellent ball play down the left. All he had to do, in my opinion, control the ball first and roll it across the area. But when you're past 50, the brain don't work as good as before. So the score is still 0-0. Paradise 0, Bailan Masters 0.
I think that deserves a drink at the bar later on. When we see Sterling, he'll probably want to give us a drink to show us up. Here's Paradise now with this attempted square. Not good enough from Mears, but he does do enough effort in it, Keith, to win a corner kick for Paradise. I think that is second or third corner of the first half. We're clipping into a minute and 44 seconds of time added on for stoppages, but remember, keeper Harding was down for a couple of minutes with that injury to his neck or lower chin area or something like that, so therefore the referee will want to add on just a little bit to even it up. Ball coming across the box now, it's a beauty. Stopped by the defender there, and the keeper second time of asking. He switches around, Keith, and he snatches it with both hands. Harding to the rescue for the Bailan lads.
The medics have done a fantastic job. He was down and out, but since then he brought off two brilliant staves, and surely as we approach the end of the 30 minutes, and for the fans at home, the games are played over 30-minute halves, and surely now, here we go with Bailan Masters. This is going to be dangerous. Lots of shirts in the area. Shot will probably come in soon. He dizzy daddy, runs it down the line, wasted, and Buffett comes off the line, collects cleanly. Danger averted. Paradise 0, Bailan Masters 0. Another player has gone down for Bailan Masters. The referee has blown the whistle. 30 minutes of absorbing play, lovely touch moves in between. But Trevor, to be honest, scoreline reveals Paradise 0, Bailan Masters 0.
Yeah, definitely so, Keith. It would be remiss of me if I didn't actually roll off our sponsors for this particular tournament: Accra Beach Hotel, Atlantis Submarine, Banks Breweries, You also have in there the likes of Dover Beach Hotel, the Infinity of the Beach Hotel, and Intimate Hotels of Barbados. Also Massey Distribution, Palm Beach Hotel. Let's get a few more in there before we run out of time here. Roch Call Enterprises for our jerseys and so on this evening. Cross Trevor Hotel and Sandals for the Bimfc launch, of course. We also have assistance from the Tourism Development Corporation, TDC, because this one is going to make its way across the world market. Trophy World to actually produce those trophies, those gorgeous trophies that we'll be able to see a bit later on. And the list goes on and on and on, as well as Here's Me Shop and Terry's Food Truck. Halftime here at the National Stadium, and with it, the tide 0-0 between Winston Enterprises Bayland 50s and Paradise Masters 50s edition. In a moment, Keith, I believe we will be going to Mari Leacock, who is a part of CSA, and he's going to try to line up a couple of interviews for us at the halftime so that we can get the public's view of how they see Bimfc, how this has developed over the last couple of years, and hopefully give us a sense of where Bimfc will be going and could probably go as well. So, I said halftime here, and we're awaiting the link to Marley Leacock. Not quite. We'll do that a bit later on. No issues at all. So, a couple of seconds time, we'll just review the game, and then we'll head back for an ad or two, Keith. But as I said before, the question I had asked you, you said that wing play is important, and to show that you're exactly on the button, the team that use your technique, the wing play, spreading it wide, outnumbering the defense with two attackers rather than one. We saw it this afternoon where John Griffith came up from a defensive position for the Paradise lads. He played a delightful ball through a space to Tyrone Mears, wearing the number 9. He then drew the defense at the near post, cut it across the box. That should have been the finish, and it should have been good night nurse. Paradise won. Paradise should have been 1-0 up, but on this occasion, the finish wasn't there, and therefore Paradise suffering, really suffering, because that could easily have been the icing on the cake, basically, for the Paradise lads, and Bayland Masters could have easily gone away crying at the first half. But it wasn't to be. But you can see that, as you said, there it is here now. Mears in acres of space. The striker is on the left-hand side there. He plays it in. He uses his right foot, the outside of the right boot instead of the inside of the left. Because the inside of the left will give you precision and power. The outside of the right will curl the ball in a certain direction that the keeper can actually get it. So the wrong technique to finish gives you exactly that. Here we go again. Mears down the right-hand side. He sees the attacker. He sees his striking partner, and the ball. In fact, it doesn't play. The technique isn't good, and therefore they're left to suffer.
Can I make an interjection and remind you?
Can, sir.
Many years ago, Barbados were playing Grenada in an all-important game to qualify for CFU Finals. Gregory Lalu Goodridge went down the right, and he played a magnificent ball across the area. And who was the man that finished?
To who?
Trevor. Oh, great finish.
That was a Shell Cup.
Shell Cup to qualify for the CFU Finals. Yes.
I remember that.
And you scored that brilliant goal. Again, Lalu Goodridge went down the right, played the perfect ball, and you showed skill and goal scoring instinct, which the man did not have moments ago. So again, good movement, but if you play excellent football, good passing, good movement, and you don't put the ball in the back of the nets, the next team will score one, as Real Madrid did against Liverpool last weekend to win the Champions League. And I want to appeal now from early that CBC, who are sponsors of this live game, when it comes to the World Cup in November, I want Trevor Thorne to be a part of the analytical team. He is outstanding commentator, a good statistician, and I recommend him very, very highly.
Flabbergasted there, Keith. But up for the challenge as well. Obviously, you've been in this game for a bit now. I pause because I can see that we're getting ready. As soon as the second, before this final is over, Keith, we'll have the presentation of trophies and prizes right on top of that FIFA tablecloth that you're seeing there in the distance there, in the middle of the screen. So we're setting up, Bimfc, we try to keep a certain level of dignity in what we do, and therefore the presentation we believe is a big thing when it comes to Masters football. Having played your whole life, and some of these players have probably never tasted the joys of full victory, meaning actually winning the tournament, going all the way through, perhaps unbeaten, and actually putting your hands on the trophy. And here you're in with another chance. You know you're getting older, you don't know how many days we have left, and you're in with Bimfc is giving you another chance to shine on not just the local stage, but because we're going through CBC TV with the help of Gary Bell and Rivelina Simmons and the CBC crew and so on, able to bring it to you in your homes, with Monday when you're relaxing, and we're actually out here bringing you the sights and scenes of the over 50s Masters football final.
Well, that is very, very, very true, and that is why I said at the beginning, I am proud of yourself, Julian Anil and Melville Oxley, who have worked very, very assiduously to make this happen, and to come here and see what's going on is a blessed privilege. There are persons who would have helped with the beginning of women's football and Masters football. They're watching because I spoke to them early. Good evening to all of those people, including Jai Jabba Singh from UE. You know, he used to got Masters football and women's football. So kudos to all of those people. And even though he may be resting in peace, Victor Gas Clark was one of the persons who helped start women's football at Weymouth. And not looking for any kudos, myself and O'Malley, Eric Allen, we started women's football along with Graham Adams at the Garrison. So truly, they got lots of people who have worked very hard for Masters football and women's football, and you would know a little bit more about the ladies who played earlier. They played in an exhibition game, and I'm certain, Trevor, next time around when you got the Masters, you will probably have some lady masters playing in the tournament also.
That, Keith, is the aim and the objective. We're off and running though for the second half here of action in the over 50s Masters. This one brings together the Jets in the yellow strip. On this occasion, that is the Paradise Masters 50s edition. That's the name they go by. And they're up against this evening Winston Enterprises Bayland 50s. Bayland 50s are going from left to right on your screen, viewers. And they're wearing that bright red jersey. Here's Mears trying to make himself a nuisance inside the box, and he's robbed of it. And Bayland Masters coming over with their defense as they look to build down the left-hand side. This is Oxley, the former Barbados volleyball spiker, who's turned footballer and is a very good striker at that, Keith. He has a ratio of about a goal every 2 games, and obviously I'm a statistician as well at heart. That's what CSI is all about. It is not a crime scene investigation. It's Commentated Sports Incorporated, and it's abbreviated the same way, but it's similar in nature. Here's a chance here at near post. He flicks it around the corner. Oh, it's over the touchline, but it should have been in the back of the net, and that was a glorious opportunity for Paradise to make it one, Keith. But on this occasion, I'm tempted to say that for Paradise, Peter Newton used the left foot to finish. So something is definitely wrong.
You are a top striker, so I wouldn't even question that. But again, the ball was played wide and played across the box. And speaking about Mr. Oxley, who is well known as a top volleyball player, he spoke to me on his way in, and I said we'll be doing live commentary. Please get on the score sheet, and you know, we had a little joke about that. So he has been a good striker. At the moment though, Paradise have gone very close on 2 occasions. Fortunately for the Bayland Masters, they've not conceded, and they would try to build on the right hand side of midfield. Bayland Masters nil, Paradise nil. A blessed good evening to you, Diamond, my dear sweetheart and granddaughter. I know she's listening, and one day she may be playing for the ladies' coach. She's a top athlete at Wilkie Cumberbatch, and I know that she and her family, grandmothers, etc., and dad probably watching the game. At the moment though, Paradise nil, Bayland Masters nil.
So I too would like to reach out to all 11 parishes and say good evening to my family who haven't seen me in about 4 days. They're asking where he is. And he has 4 days of football non-stop because these games start at 9 in the morning. They end normally, well, in Masters football, especially with Bimfc, we go to the stadium that have lighting. So we go all the way up to 9 or 10. So by the time I get in, everybody's asleep already. And by the time I get up in the morning to move, they're still sleeping. So I apologize for being so delinquent or absent. But this is what, I have a visa which takes me through those 4 days. So I'm using the visa well, and the evidence is I'm on air, I'm live in a living color with Keith Griffith, Marley Leacock, and of course the gents with the production as well. So here we have it now, Bayland, the game evenly poised. The best chance has gone to the gents in yellow. Paradise Masters 50 edition, and I'd have to call the Paradise's team by this nickname, the Yellow Submarine. And you can see why. The whole kit is yellow, and you just can't get away from attaching that name to them. I always call them the Yellow Submarine because they're very buoyant, like a sub. They can go up and down and all around to get the goals that they're looking for. And of course, being a Yellow Submarine, they can shoot those bombs from underneath the water and take it position, which is.
You know, if you are an ex-football fan and you came to the stadium this evening and you saw the yellow and blue, the first thing you would think that is Notre Dame Bayland team. But Paradise also playing those colors, and ironically enough, Paradise have 2 easiest chances. They failed to convert, and Bayland Masters are still very much in the game. On the far side, you can see Bayland Masters warming up because they are also in the over 40s final, and that should also be an intriguing encounter. Paradise 0, Bayland Masters 0. We into the what minute, Trevor?
Into the 35th minute.
35th minute of the game.
So here we go with the Bayland Master. Just Albert Braffett, Keith. He's now player turned coach, the diminutive right footer, pulling the strings for the Bayland Masters. I believe he has a hand on both teams, so perhaps he plays in this one and coaches the other one, the 40s. So I mean, he's doing a magnificent job as we've invited international teams here and put them up against the local ones, and as you can tell, Keith, to coach both teams into the 2 finals available basically has to be an excellent job done by Arnold. I think he represents the Mavericks Sports Club now, and that has a cadre of teams from U9, U11, 13s, 15s under his wing.
Well, that is very good. He was also a very good national player, and he was an outstanding striker of the ball, and hopefully he will be hoping that with Bayland Masters into finals that they will take away one. And I think our good friend who was at the luncheon on Wednesday night he is on the technical staff of the over 40s, Nobby Paris.
John Nobby Paris.
John Nobby Paris, a destroyer. I don't know if he's still destroying. Has he played in any matches?
He hasn't. He's actually been coaching, Keith. I believe he coaches the 50. So I think if you look down on the sideline there, I think that is him there in the track bottom. It might be him there. But
with his arms folded.
That's right, yes. So
yes.
He's not so his hands folded as though he's not totally pleased at where we are right now, but hopefully former national Braffett wearing those yellow boots there now and looking to float this one onto the head of one of his teammates to get the victory. Braffett with the right footer. It's a sweet one. It's Oxley! Oh my goodness. Braffett right on the spot. That's a sign of a good goalkeeper. Doesn't have to dive, doesn't have to move. Knows exactly where that one's going to be planted, Keith, and just shuffle the cross to his right hand side to pick it up easily.
I must say that Braffett still looks extremely fit, being a former BDF man, and he always had good hands, a very good technical goalkeeper, and surely they must be feel extremely confident that he can keep a blank sheet. But Bayland Masters probing and searching again in the midfield. They come forward in numbers. Bayland Masters 0. 8 minutes gone in the second half. They look to get a strike in. That's an unreasonable, unfair tackle. And one of the things that I want to leave here with the commentary in general and to the fans here who are listening, even if they're watching the game, discipline, Trevor, is the key to an outstanding sportsman. And I always remember my mom growing up in the Orleans, she would always say, my dear son, it is 1 Ecclesiastes verse 7. A good name is better than precious ointment. So be disciplined, show class, show charisma, and be a good person in life. 0-0 the scoreline. Paradise 0. Bayland Masters 0.
So as we roll on into the 38th minute, in fact heading toward the 39th minute, we await that very first goal. Now, Paradise will sometimes experiment a bit. If Richard Wood playing a sweeper rather than a man up front, and he will then leave that position where you can't pick him up coming through the midfield and end up scoring a goal. I've seen it, this ploy played out for the Paradise lads. Every now and then Wood will be the wild card. He'll be the man popping up to put those passes together to break down people's defence. So let's see if that works out for Paradise, because he's deep in the defence. He's not easy out of there now, but he obviously needs some assistance in getting the ball onto that boot.
I rate him very highly as a great passer of the ball. He can pass the ball beautifully from the midfield, and like you said, he's scoring lots of goals also in the Masters, so you got to give him kudos. But the game with a lot of time still to go, 40 minutes gone, Bayland Masters going forward, this is a chance, shot may not come in, that goes wide, and again, a little too much pace on the pass, and in the end, danger averted, and the fans at home will be enjoying the game. No goals as yet. We're hoping for some goals. Goals seem to be a scarcity in local football in general, because unfortunately Barbados are conceding lots of goals at international level and not scoring any. But we'll speak about that at another time. At the moment we'll concentrate on this game. Bayline Masters, Paradise going down the left side, weaving and wobbling. Paradise 0, Bayland Masters 0.
There it is again, Keith. They see what I'm talking about. There's Wood, Richard Wood, who was playing sweeper just now, up to the front line. So you can see there's a ploy here for him to be that loose man, to put passes together where you can't read where he's going to be, and therefore exploit the surprise element to exploit.
Well, I rate him very highly as a very skillful player, brilliant technique, and like you said, he's scoring goals now. But here goes Bayland again. They try to go through the crowded middle, disturb, and in the end, it is Paradise now to knock it hither to the neon. 0-0 the scoreline. Paradise 0, Bayland Masters 0.
So Mears, he's doing a lot of work here, Keith, having been on this left side not too long ago, finds himself on the right. Run out of steam on this occasion, as Bayland Masters give him right cheap, throwing 45 yards out on the left hand side. Wood plays it inside. Let's look at the going to run here. Misunderstanding. And Bayland with Davis, Adrian A.A. Davis, they make it.
Scored lots of goals in his time for Bayland Cell. Also, he was a top striker. So if he can get the ball, maybe he can pull a shot off. I don't know if he's going to score. That's a bending pass outside of the foot. Chance here for the Bayland.
It's a good one as well. So a little bit of trickery here will do the absolute trick. Defense is strong enough to hold off that challenge. Bayland win it back deep into the midfield. This is of the Bayland team. The threaded ball, one-on-one up against the keeper. Legs. He uses the legs to block the striker from getting in, and averts the danger at the same time.
Well, you can tell that Braffett was a national goalkeeper. He came, he spread his body, spread his legs, and in the end, danger averted. Bayland would have to try again. But the game is very, very, very open, and it's just a matter of time before we can get a goal.
Definitely so. Lots of substitutes to call on, Keith, as well. So, as you know, it's nice to have them, but you don't want to make too many at one time, because then you change the chemistry of the team, and it may be to your detriment as well. So that's why you may see someone the coach making just one sub in a 5-minute period or 10 minutes or so, because he sees a little piece of the action that he needs to make that change for, and that's all he's going with. Wood He's set free down this left-hand side. Richard Wood, the former national, one-on-one. He will look to create something out of almost nothing. Ball comes back to Wood again. First touch is not too bad, but it invites the challenge from the Baylan man. Wood using basic common sense to go all the way back to this left-hand side. Paradise giving up possession. They come out of their defence on the right-hand side. Winning it back with Gibson. Floated ball across, finding the danger man, Wood, who volleys, finds the attacker, but obviously he's in an offside position, and that won't be allowed by referee Adrian Goddard. All of his assistants as well, flag up on 43 minutes.
Well, he's straight offside, but it was a good cutting-edge move from Paradise again, and I predict that a goal would come inside the next 5 minutes, because both teams, when they go forward, they seem capable of scoring. It is just the final pass that is letting them down at the moment. So Baylan Masters 0, Paradise 0. If you're now joining us on CBC TV 8, Baylan Masters playing in the orange shirt and Paradise in all yellow. So Paradise giving away a free kick on the halfway line as we probe and search for the opening goal that would give the Masters over 50 the championship in 2022.
44 on the clock. Another 15 or 16 or so minutes Keith here before we will be at a point where we would go to the dreaded penalty kicks set up. That will produce the winner no matter what, because you know you'll get the mandatory 5 penalty kicks each, and then you go to sudden death penalties. We don't go any extra time for obvious reasons. The legs just really can't handle it, and therefore if we do have to go down that line, we need the best penalty kickers to finish the job for any of the two teams.
I forget to ask you, is there a fee to come to the game?
No, absolutely free, actually.
Well, that is good news.
Yeah, we were under pressure to get to the point of an admission fee, simply because the expenses are astronomical. So who knows, next year we may have to ask for a small fee, and you could see definitely that something close to, let's say, 5 Barbados, 10 Barbados at the max.
Well, that is good, because
will be good enough to
that
get
is
some
good.
expenses down. So that may be something that we would have to have a look at, because we certainly can't continue to drain our own pockets to bring this off. So therefore we want the assistance of Corporate Barbados as much as possible, especially under the Ministry of Tourism for sure, as well as Ministry of Sport. Some backing so that we can raise these numbers. At this point in time, 6 international teams, and each team contains 20 plus guests staying at hotels. What they call it is bums on seats, Keith, where you get them to book their tickets and so on, and you want them to have a fabulous time. And no better way than to spend it in Barbados, a week in Barbados as well. So we're doing that to make sure that we hold our end of the bargain, and we just need those other ministries to jump on board, have that conversation, and let's see if we can seal the deal on a collaboration between Bimfc, CSA, Commentator Sports Incorporated, and of course the actual entity itself. And we'll do the rest. We'll handle the logistics of moving teams from hotels to venues. And on this occasion, we've broken the records because we've used 4 venues over this 4-day tournament, Keith. Normally, you don't really get to that stage. You'll get to a stage you'll use 3, perhaps. We've used 4, and we did that because we wanted the tourist element, those players coming out of Canada, USA, UK, to experience grass surface, artificial turf, and the like, and as well as moving from parish to parish. So you're in St. Michael now. Yesterday, you were further across the coast in Christchurch, and therefore the experience is better. We're building the brand that's attached to it, and this is how we do it. 47 on the clock. We're still awaiting that very first goal. Wood, ball down the line, good run from Gibson, who will go in a foot race. He has the energy to slip his body past the player. He's one-on-one, tucks it to the right side, looks to float one far side. Defensive header in the process, for sure. That's Gibbons at his brilliant best there, Keith. Searching header to get the ball outside the box on this occasion, and of course his defence is now just taking it easy at the back because Gibbons is large and in charge in 48 minutes.
Well, that is so true. Gibbons was strong there defensively, and you can tell that the players are beginning to tire because when they put one or two passes together, a number of players cannot get past the half line to join in the attack. And what they would have to do, be able to do, is keep the ball in their possession a little bit longer, allowing their teammates to come forward. Bayline Masters trying now to probe and search and go forward. Again, they're going offside. And how many matches did they play earlier today, Trevor? Just one?
Just one today. What would have happened is, Keith, this is how it actually rolls out. On the Friday that we kick off, Friday the 3rd, just a couple of days ago, each team plays one match. And the majority of them were played at the Dover facility because it has the lighting, has the ambience of St. Lawrence Gap at night. So we like to capture that spirit of Barbados at night in a tourism-based location. So that's your first game. You move to Saturday, you must play 2. And it's nice to play 2 matches at one venue. Great. But how about playing 2 matches and having to move from one to the other? Gives you another experience. So they've done that this time around. We played at the likes of Empire and Dover in the morning session. And by the time we got to evening, we went to the BFA Turf Building to finish off in the 9 p.m. games up there. Sunday, we then spread them out again, give them some of the National Stadium, as well as the likes of Empire, Dover, and so on, so that you're constantly getting a different venue to play at and a different, slightly different condition as well. There's Crony in the middle of their defense, a nice dribble, we'll spread it wide. Mears getting involved there. In fact, that's not Mears, that's Griffith playing very high up the pitch there, but probably been asked to play in that position by coach. The coach of the team, which I believe is still Gibson at this point, player coach type player. And we're just about 50 minutes, just about 10 to go. We still await that first goal, but here's some skill from Bayland, trailing past 1 and then 2. They're now coming out of their defense, ball floated up the line, good little twist and turn, but still no real luck in letting it fall in the position that he's in. But they still have possession now, ball played through, good defensive work by Gibbons there again, showing all of his experience and blocking the path of the attacker. And immediately he's feeling the pressure there, Keith, because Gibbons put all 180 pounds on him and stopped him in his tracks, and at the same time brilliantly didn't give up a foul.
Well, yes, he can also play defense as he's doing now. Good looking ball through the end, but Bradford is there off the line, reading the game very, very well. They need to try some shots from outside the area now. As the legs are getting tired, they will need to shoot and hope that the goalkeeper is not in his best position. They've won a corner on the left paradise, and if you're watching a team walking on the other side, warming up, that is the Bayland Masters on the 40, and one must compliment the Bayland Masters team to be in 2 finals is excellent work. At the moment though, still no goals as we roll inside the last few minutes of the over 50s final. Paradise nil, Bayland Masters nil. Again, we will want to thank those sponsors who have made this live commentary possible. You are totally okay with some of those sponsors, Trev, and we really would have to big them up, but we wait for the corner.
Floated far post, attacking header, but large and in charge. Harding snatches that one out of the air, sets Gibbons free on the Bayland Masters left. And he plays Davis. Gibbons asks for it, gets it on the left-hand side.
He's offside.
And he's offside.
He moved a little too quickly.
He's just not looking across the line either, and therefore losing that part of his game, Keith, where you look across the line first before you make the sprint, because it will mean an element of adjustment to your sprint. So you can't sprint first and then look. You look first
and then sprint.
That came out of
Don't you think, apart from doing the organizational work, that you could be a top coach?
I think I know where you're going. Right, so I'm saying, having read a lot of those books and saying, I think I want to coach at one stage.
Oh, okay.
I kind of like put the manuals one side, but actually going to commentary. But the knowledge of the game is still here, and therefore, as you said, every now and then you'll hear a coach's perspective from yours truly. But really and truly, I think I like where I am I like administration a bit, so I can get those teams to be up to a certain mark when it comes to the administration of themselves. Here's Wood, by the way, into the 18-yard box. The push and pull, and then the toe poke with the right foot, because that will get the ball across the box as fast as possible and perhaps find a teammate. But in the end, good defensive work from our man, Arnold Brathwaite, in a defensive spot there, Keith, sticking out the right boot and the ball over the goal line for another Paradise corner kick. I made that about 5 or so corner kicks for Paradise.
Yeah, they're putting a lot of pressure on the Dames team. Good looking corner too, headed away momentarily. Defensive work from Bailan Masters. What will they do? Play the ball down the right. He's struggling at the moment. Bailan Masters still not considered a goal. Good pass as they look to get forward again. That is Davis.
So Russell Norville, who's moved from Empire to Bailan Masters in the transfer window.
How much did he cost?
I'll tell you, Keith, it has to be a big fee for him to leave the Mighty Blues, which now has the likes of...
This is a goal?
No, offside.
Offside.
Has the likes of Armando McLeod coming out of Kingston, Jamaica, joining the Blues. It causes Norville to leave his team and come over to Bailan. So there got to be some kind of method to the madness there, but it seems to be working out because Norville gets to start here every game, and perhaps he might have not be getting the minutes he thought he deserved with the Blues. So as you said, Masters is one place you can experiment and perhaps move around a bit, get to know a few more players and make your life more enjoyable. So sometimes you stay in one place and your knowledge base doesn't necessarily get as high as you would want.
And you want to play when you're a master.
Yeah, definitely so. And some of these guys, as you said before, they didn't really play when they were young. So here's Wood in on goal now, chance here to make it one. He squares. Oh! 55 on the clock. Paradise are ahead. Definitely so. The ball bulging the old onion bag, and we have a goal, Keith. Paradise Masters 50s edition 1. Winston Enterprises Bailan 50s 0. Goal on 55 minutes as we see the replay coming up. All the celebrations in the world. The fans are not supposed to be on the field though. We need to get those fans off the field, but yes, jubilation, Keith. Can't stop it.
Yeah, but the fans need to be disciplined. But that was excellent play again from Woods. He probed and he searched, and then he found that cutting edge ball to play just inside the area, and the finishing was sublime and superb. Paradise 1. Bailan Masters 0. That was excellent play from Woods. To me, he has been the best player on the pitch the whole evening. And again, with 5 minutes remaining in this final, Paradise leading by 1 goal to 0, and Bailan Masters with a mountain to climb.
So there's the magic, Keith, the magic of the man, Richard Wood. We saw the roll with the right foot over the ball. What that does, it makes the defender go that way, to the left, because he wants to create space on the right. And the space that's created on the right opens up the door for Peter Newton to stab home. Without that roll of that ball, that creativity, there's no goal. So the ability to analyze the situation and know what is needed on that time is what, as that ball comes in, is what separates the average guy from the brilliant guy. And at this point in time, Richard Wood.
Wood is class. He is pure class. Always was. His only thing when he played more senior football, when he was younger, sometimes he would hang on to the ball too long. But at this level, with his creativity, he can always find openings, and he did it in the first half, and now majestically, he did it and created that chance. Bailan Masters will have to pull one back very quickly because we're inside the last 4 minutes, Rav.
Yeah, we are. It's just about 3 or so, 3.5 to go. So it's time to shut up shop for Paradise. I would think if you're tactically looking at the game, you have what is required already. It's the one goal that gets your hands on the trophy. And to go flamboyant now would be a whole waste of time with scoring that first goal. You now want to defend it. And in order to defend, it doesn't mean pack all the men behind the ball. Another way to defend, coming out of the coaching handbook, Keith, is to maintain possession of the ball. The opposition don't have it, and will never score.
If you don't have the ball, you can't score.
There it is. So
very, very, very importantly.
Two ways to defend it. You said stoutly with numbers behind the ball, but the other one is possession of the ball so the opposition doesn't actually get it. So
one of the Paradise Spirits have gone down here on the left side. They're going to make a substitution as we roll inside the final 2 minutes. Paradise leading on the evening by a goal to nil. Bayland Masters looking to pull one back, but I don't think that at the moment Bayland Masters has that creative instinct to probe, search. They're going to have to shoot at Braffett from distance, and that is going to be difficult to beat him because Braffett has always been an outstanding goalkeeper. Paradise lead on the evening by 1 goal to nil. The whistle is gone. I think he's going to take back the goal kick. Probably the ball was moving a little bit. And if you need to have a good evening out, come and get some refreshments and relax in a good environment, safe environment at the moment. Paradise leading and heading to the trophy in the over 50s. Paradise lead the Bayland Masters by 1 goal to nil.
Well, they surely do. Just about 2.5 minutes left in this one before the whole of Christchurch celebrate a victory. It looks like a victory for the Yellow Submarine from Dover, known as Paradise Masters 15th edition, here in the 2022 Barbados Invitational Masters Football Classic. Bimfc. Here's Paradise again with Gibson. Chips past one. Doesn't play quite the leading ball, and the ball isn't accurate either, and therefore Bayland live to fight another day for sure. And we're just about a minute and a half on the clock as we keep an eagle eye on referee Adrian Goddard to see if he adds any time for stoppages. Bayland trying to sneak past the defence of Paradise, having none of it. They pushed all the way up the field, so there's no way we're going to go after that ball. But of course, this one brought to you with the compliments of the likes of the Actor Hotel, the Submarine, Bax Breweries, the BFA, yes, Barbados Football Association are in there, the Barbados Hotel and Tourism Association, the likes of Commentator Sports Incorporated, of course, Dover Beach Hotel, Infinity on the Beach Hotel, Intimate Hotels of Barbados, Massey Distribution. Let's get a few more of those. Palm Beach Hotel, thank you very much. The likes of Rog Call Enterprises for the printing of our jerseys and our replica shirts, which are on sale for $30 downstairs. You can get them, the Bimfc replica jersey. Become a fan and spread the word across the world as well, so we get many more fans. Here's Bayland with the little 1-2 cut out at the back again as they're under a bit of pressure, Keith. They have all 11 players back into their own half, and Bayland are pushing forward. Chance here on the edge of the box. I can see, yes, I can actually see Mr. Goddard with the whistle in his mouth, and that the shirt goes up in the air. Jubilation for the likes of the Paradise Masters 50th edition and their cheerleaders and fans. As you can see them now, they're being swamped by those fans, and we can say we have a classified result in the 2022 Bimfc over 50s final. It is Paradise Masters 50s edition 1, Winston Enterprises Bayland Masters 0.
Well, a good game, constructive, sometimes good pace, but that excellent move and the pass from Woods was out of the top drawer, and in the end they were worthy winners. And like I said earlier, if you're feeling a bit hungry and you need something positive to eat and in good surroundings, head to Worden Court and go with one of the Barbados outstanding defenders in Gall Hill, Food Truck, Terry's Food Truck, and also his brother Ear, who was an outstanding goalkeeper, one of the best. If you're looking to prepare your meals for tomorrow, you can go to his meat shop over by Foundation School and Gall Hill and get what you need. But Trevor, a good evening so far, a good victory. Paradise deserved the victory because in the first half they created the opening chances, but they did not put the finishing touches. Bayland Masters played well, but they have an opportunity now to be champions in the over 40, and hopefully, as we look to take a break and pause for good cause, Paradise champions and jumping, winning over Bayland Masters by 1 goal to 0.
surely did, as we partner as well, Keith, with the Emerson Boys Foundation to bring ladies football right back here to Barbados. The ladies would have had an exhibition game just before this one, and we were able to see the skill and guile and excellence of 22 of Barbados's up-and-coming ladies footballers here, as we bring ladies football back to fruition in Barbados as well. Thank you very much, Emerson Boys. And we'd also like to say a really good thank you to all of our sponsors as well who make this possible, this broadcast. We're at the National Stadium, Waterford, St. Michael, Barbados. Hello Barbados, hello Caribbean, hello to the world as well. After the over 40s final, we go straight to the FIFA covered table there in the centre, and we'll do the presentation of trophies and prizes, as well as some entertainment. That entertainment comes via the Sweet Vibes radio show with DJ King Bling and DJ Black Spider as well. So lots to look forward to. If you're at home and you want to make it down, plenty of entertainment still here at the National Stadium, I beg your pardon. And with it, that's the final minutes of this first game as we get ready for the over 40s final. And that final brings together the defending champions, yes, at the La Familia out of Canada, and they're up against Winston Enterprises Bailan Masters. This time the 40s edition. The 40s edition would have been able to get a 2-1 victory under their belts against the Dayton Griffiths secondary All Scholars earlier today. And of course, La Familia, the defending champions, were 2-2 in the semis with COW Wildy Masters. And in the end, they went to penalty kicks. The La Familia coming out 5-3 winners on the day. We're just about standing by for a live interview as well. And when we get the word, we'll be heading down pitch side with young CSI commentator Marley Leacock, who's looking to do an interview just down below us here. And when that happens, we'll bring that to you live here on CBC TV8. Also, we still have a presentation of trophies and prizes happening all on the same evening as well. Obviously, you want to move away with your checks as well as your products from the bar, as we'll throw it right down to Marley Leacock down pitch side.
You have to know, Bailan is our nemesis. We went through from the same group as them. We draw the first game, qualifying. So we know it would have been a hard game coming into the final.
You missed some chances early on. Did you at any point think it might be slipping away from you?
We'll just be patient. Chances will come. So all I ask my guys, just be patient, just be disciplined on the passer, and the opportunity will come.
Okay, when you saw that it was Bailan that you were playing, was there anything special inside there? Anything extra to go over the edge?
I just ask my man, just keep it tight, because we know they've got some good players. The shot on the players there, don't get them much room to move. Just try to work the ball as much, work it on the flanks, get crosses coming in. At some point in the score.
It was 0-0 at the half though. Tight first half, you missed some chances, they missed some chances. What was the halftime team talk like?
The halftime team talk, I just asked the guys, are you supposed to be stepping up a notch, because first half, both teams were being cautious. We were watching them, they were watching us, nobody were really getting much attacks. You're just playing defensive for a bit, sitting down, and waiting to see what the opposition can do. But I just ask my guys just to sit down and just play normal football, enjoy the game, and at the time, I know a chance will come and we'll put the ball in back.
Yeah, saying that you knew them so well though, was there anything specific in terms of preparation before, or was it that you were doing so well throughout the tournament before you just left things as they were, tried to leave it as simple as possible for the side?
Not really. They got one or two individual players that stand out, but I just ask my guys, just to shut them out, keep them out of the game as much as possible. The more we keep them out of the game, then the less possession they got. And at some point they get frustrated, start getting away the ball, and then all we have to do is try to hit them on the counter, and that's exactly what happened today.
All right, so you're the champions now. So I'll let you get back shortly and get the celebrations in order. But was that the modus operandi coming in? Was that the main goal, or was it just play the tournament and see how it goes?
We actually played the tournament to win, because the last time this tournament played was in 2019, and we were losing finalists that was on the 40s at the time, to La Familia, the team that's on the field now, playing on the 40s final again. So this one This is one cup that always slip away from us in the Masters tournament. So it's always special for us.
All right, Fitzroy, congratulations once again. Thank you so much for joining us. I'll let you get to your celebrations now. No problem.
Yes, here we are again. It's a double dose of it, Keith. Action-packed matches. The 50s has been rolled over. And we have a classified result. Paradise Masters 50s edition 1. Newton Enterprises Bayland Masters 0. Yep, so we're just about ready, standing by for referee Trevor Taylor to give us the signal. He will then signal all the friends on the inside, and here we go for the final of the over 40s Barbados Invitational Masters Football Classic. We'll get those team sheets for you and then start to map it out onto our charts and so on, and really give you a good piece of commentary here on this one. But so far we've seen the Bayland Masters in the salmon looking tops there, threading the ball through the space and remain in possession of it. And with just seconds on the clock then, they're showing good poise in the low 1-2s and maintain possession. Just giving it away though, the La Familia of Canada having a brief session of the same possession but not being able to make any use of it. They're a little bit slow out of the blocks here, Keith. And we're just about a minute on the clock. La Familia now getting a few touches on the ball, and they look to place their philosophy onto this matchup here in the over 40s.
Well, you can already see the difference in the under 50s and the over 50s and the over 40s. Good movement, ball being played a little bit more lively, and hopefully we should be in for some goals. Bayland Masters, having lost the final of the over 50s by 1-0, will be hoping that they can make the Bayland people and Barbadians proud by defeating the visitors and going on to be the champions of the 40s. And Trevor, for the fans at home, would you call the name of the Canadian team again?
La Familia out of Canada. La Familia.
La Familia. The family?
All about the family.
All about the family.
All about the family.
So here we go.
And they're the defending champions. They won it in 2019 and they're back here to defend their title.
Well, I remember commentating that final with you when La Familia won over with the turf, but today they are on different carpet here at the stadium in immaculate condition, really nicely rolled out, good grass, and there cannot be any excuses. The pitch is perfectly in good order. La Familia out of Canada 0, Bayland Masters 0. They lost the over 50s, but now the younger ones, over 40s, are hoping to be successful. So we wait and wait to see who would strike first. Remember, the games are of 1 hour duration of normal time, and if at the deadlock of 1 hour there are no goals and no winner, we go into time added on and extra time, obviously.
No extra time, Keith.
No extra time.
Straight to penalty kicks.
Straight to penalty kicks.
So, La Familia getting familiar with the ball here at this point in time. Their keeper with the 65-yard clearance up the field. There are Masters in their salmon pink, I call it, Keith.
That's a foul for sure.
Salmon pink tops, black shorts and white socks, charging in on the attacker there, Keith, and giving up an obvious free kick in just about 3.5 minutes. So La Familia with a spot kick, basically, Keith, a set play can create chances. Now, people always want to know what is set play, because they realize that in running commentary, when I introduce commentators to sport, they say kick, free kick, set play, dead ball, situation, volley, hard volley. Yeah. What's a set play? What's that? I don't know about that. This is a set play where you're going to use some craft and guile to either put this ball on somebody's head that's going to run near post and leave the defender behind, or you're going to drive it across near the 6-yard box, hoping for anybody to touch it and it goes in. There's so many other connotations that can happen, but that is a set play for you. It can be complicated, or it can be as easy as putting the ball across. Number 10, he tries to go to the outside of the box. That's not the way to execute the set play. But they get favour, Keith, and they lose it again. Here comes Bailan Masters now down the left-hand side. And they look to put those passes together and maintain possession. They've lost possession. Chance to go all the way back to their keeper. This is the La Familia team here. As they look to build and prob and prod. Hawksworth with the 30-yarder, looking for a strike partner there. But he's dispossessed, and he also gives up the throwing 10 yards from the half line on this occasion. And with just about 5 minutes on the clock, we're rumbling and tumbling here, Keith. We're rumbling and tumbling here at the National Stadium, Waterford, St. Michael, Barbados. At this point in time, Bailan Masters nil, Familiar with Canada nil after 5 minutes.
Well, like you just said, rumbling and tumbling at the moment, and hopefully probing and searching and finding. Ball is down the right side, cut across the area. Good defensive work. La Familia looking to get a shot in, but in the end, danger averted, and Bailan Master trying to keep it in field. I'm just clearing my throat a little bit, but I'll be back in good running order in a minute. And there were a lot of question marks when I was sitting downstairs, Trevor, and lots of people said to me, Keith, well, we have not seen you in a million years. How old are you now? I have nothing to hide, and with God's blessing, if I continue on this path, I will head to 78 years in November. And I have been in football from the time I was 16 years old, going 17. I scored a hat trick at Lodge School playing for Wales. That was my debut. At that time I was a fast right winger, not a prolific goal scorer like you, but I would score goals from time to time.
Okay, that's nice to grab that history from you. I didn't know you had a hat trick in your early years as well, and you were a striker before you...
I was a right winger.
Right winger.
So they said that I was the fastest right winger or fastest forward they've ever seen. But eventually I went back to midfield, and then in the end, when Bimfc from Germany came, I went to sweeper, and praise the Lord, I'm still here and able, even though I'm not able to be good enough and mobile enough to get on the pitch and play, I can still entertain, which I enjoy doing with you, because you are an outstanding commentator and statistician and organizer of this tournament. So 0-0 the scoreline. We're inside the first 10 minutes of the first half. Bailan Masters 0, La Familia 0.
Speaking about La Familia, a man that you're familiar with as well, Keith, you have coached him over a period of time. John Hawksworth is central defender for the Bailan Masters, so he's in his latter years, rather than playing in the middle of the midfield, he was a distribution guy. He's now turned into a sweeper at the back because he can read the game very well, and he does have that 45-yard pass, and he can play from right there and set the striker free.
He was one of the best players I've ever coached. He has all the talent from Atby Primary School, and he went on to play for Notre Dame, and he also went on to play for Barbados youth team and the senior team. So it is good to see him back there on defense, and he will give me some jokes because he messes me on a regular basis, and he have never called me Keith Griffith yet. He always called me coach. Real respect, and so I do have the same amount of respect for him. But an outstanding footballer in general, and he loved jokes. So I hope he don't make any joke at the back. It is Barbados versus Canada at the moment. 0-0 the scoreline as we go inside the first
9 minutes, Keith.
9 minutes gone. Not 10 minutes as yet, but we are rolling inside the 10-minute mark.
So the Bailan Masters here in the middle of their midfield, outside of the right boot, deployed there to try to put that pass together. And it's even Stevens with the two teams. Possession now with Well, that's a sweet 180 turn there, and he releases. Referee, yes, of course, referee will blow that as a free kick. Keeper. That was a superb Zidane 180 turn.
Definitely, that was brilliant. That was
We saw Zidane execute that so many times for Juventus, for France, and it's a piece of grace.
a piece of magic.
It's
Correct.
a piece of magic.
And you know Zidane is
It's
one of my
almost
favorite
it's like
players of all time.
It's like a ballet dancer, isn't it?
Definitely so. That was excellently done. Bailan Masters looking positive in the opening minutes. Leading ball, and in the end, the ball runs into touch. Surely, La Familia defending their crown this year, hoping to take it back to Canada. Is there any prize money attached or just a trophy?
Definite prize money, Keith, or philosophy. Well, I had that philosophy from my days in dealing with commercial football. You know, commercial football involves sometimes 40 teams, hotels, business houses, banks, financial institutions, otherwise, various other groups, let's say Sanitation Service Authority, within the team, folks in the media as well, Nation newspaper and so on, having an actual team, and 40 other teams playing it out over nighttime football with competitive soccer at a commercial league base. And with that, we always had the inclination to put some money in it, because you would want to have some kind of finance that you can go to the bar and have a beverage after with your friends and family, and that creates the nice relationships at work and so on, with the fans that come to watch you and so on. So we took that philosophy and said, Masters deserves this. If this going to play all 4 days, let's back it with some money. So what happens is,
what do you get for winning?
yeah, so the overseas-based team gets paid in US dollars, and the Barbadian team gets paid in the local currency, Barbadian dollars. So a good few thousand, let's put it that way.
No problem
Yeah, for
whatsoever.
Plus-
that is
plus-
excellent.
Plus the overseas teams transported by superb transportation in and around Barbados, and ground transport up and down, games, back to hotels, etc., and so on. So there's a full package that we go through, and the more assistance that we get, the better we can make it for all concerned. So therefore, as you said, with sponsors with the caliber and local knowledge like the Ears Meat Shop and Terry's Food Truck, where I believe when we finish here, we're going to head on over and have a
To Word
beverage,
and Court.
perhaps a pork chop or some chicken or fish or whatever that Terry does so brilliantly. And you folks are invited over too. Into the box.
Definitely so.
Yeah, good take there by the keeper, Keith.
So again, I know I said it at the beginning, but I want to reiterate, Trevor Thorne, Melvin Ibo Oxley, and Julian Anil have done outstanding work. And in Barbados, we must appreciate persons who have gone beyond the call of duty to make good things happen. The ball is gone forward. Here we go with Bailan Masters. Shot comes in, he chips it. Danger averted. Bailan Masters 0, La Familia 0.
So we're rumbling and tumbling, as they say, at the National Stadium, Waterford. We haven't been here in about 3 years for sure. And we continue to do what we do. People will say we're breaking barriers and so on, but we aim at excellence. There's other stakeholders that we look to link with. One of those, as I said before, is the Emerson Boys Foundation, now charged with bringing women's football back to Barbados in a prominent way. It was launched before, but seemed to lose a little bit of prominence. It deserved the prominence that world football is getting, and therefore the vehicle that will bring it back in a meaningful way has been targeted as Bimfc. We approached Emerson and we said we want to give them a showcase. We want to give them the piece of the action where there's a nice crowd available for them to be encouraged to play. And also the children here today would have been able to see that football isn't only for men, that ladies can play the game as well. And the nice thing about the football in these days is that there's a nice element of education and career paths. So if you play some soccer and you're good with your academics, you can get one of those scholarships which takes you off to university, you gain that knowledge, and now you're ready for the world of work in a meaningful way.
That is so true.
That's
At the moment, what is excellent too, Notre Dame, Bailan Masters defending in numbers, making sure that La Familia, even though they're making their normal changes, cannot get anywhere near. And when you speak about ladies football in Barbados, it would be remiss of me if I didn't mention one of the top female coaches who works with the National Sports Council, Jackie Ford. I use Jackie because he's well known as that. He was a prolific striker like you for himself before he went into coaching. So let's wish all the gentlemen and ladies who are involved with the football blessings and hope that Barbados could step up in women's football, because at the moment, Trevor, we don't want to be disrespectful, but Barbados not doing well. Only last night we lost another game by 3 goals to 0 against Cuba, and we will play Guadeloupe on Thursday. So we hope that we can get it right soon. At the moment, La Familia going forward down the left. They hold it up, they squeeze it in the gap. Can they find the magic to open up the Bayland Master defense? Bayland defense very solid as a rock, keeps it out, and La Familia would have to try again. Ball is played down the left. Can he cut the ball across the area? Good defensive work. Bayland Masters deep inside their own half. Trevor, no goals. Do you believe that Bayland Masters could find that cutting edge to get that opening goal?
It's quite possible, Keith, because looking at the roster, you can see there's quality in defence with the likes of John Hawksworth and Brian Neblick playing side by side, basically, and being able to read that game and cut out those passes, distribute to the midfield. And coming through the midfield, they do have a number of well-known and household names as well. We'll get to those names in just a few seconds, but they're now touching it around in the defence. 50-50 challenge. The La Familia team, Keith, would have been here in 2019, and you can see a number of starters here this evening are basically back to defend the title. The likes of goalkeeper Sabatino Scala, number 1. They go with a central defense of Rene Martin and Courtney Brown, 3 and 8 respectively. Sergio Mouchant pulling the strings in midfield wearing classical number 10, Keith. Danny Sana, the 6, and Peter Firebase, number 13. They're the stoppers or blockers, so that the strikers from the Bayland can't actually make penetrating runs through the middle of the midfield. And up front, the likes of Jermaine and Pablo looking and lurking for something to fall and actually bury the Bayland Masters. So we're seeing straight away that they're here to defend their title, and they've brought back a number of the players that did it in 2019. So they know the terrain, kind of, they know the Bajan feeling, who they're going to support and so on. So they know they need to psychologically break that barrier and get what they need, the goal, to take them all the way.
Oh, that was good movement again. Lovely interchanging, lovely passing. They went down the middle, then they switched the ball to the right-hand side, like now, of the midfield. When the cross came in, the header was not on target, but surely that was a cutting-edge move. And the Bayland Masters team, what is the name of the players?
We'll get those for you in a second, Keith. You join the running commentary for now. As the game very intriguing. It's evenly poised with possession just about 52% to the La Familia team. Player there demonstrating this, as he figured that the game should have been allowed to flow, but the referee would have seen an issue there and put the whistle to mouth and brought it right back. This is a floated ball inside, scooped up into the air and taken cleanly, this time by goalkeeper Wayne Lovell, the number 1 for Bayland Masters.
Well, again, good defensive organization by the Bayland Masters, but La Familia seemingly has good understanding when they go forward in attack. And what the Bayland Masters would need to do is to stop them from building up the ball in the midfield and spreading it wide. Bayland Masters are going down the left now. They need to keep possession a little longer if they intend to open the account here in this wonderful final. So wherever you are, because I believe that you can pick it up online, Trevor, in other countries.
It's quite possible, Keith, going all the way through CBC and certainly if it's not there at that point in time, you will be able to perhaps pull it from a YouTube link up when we share it with you. And therefore, of of course, you'd want to see the highlights perhaps tonight. And then CBC TV 8, so bringing the news at 7 as well. Maybe a shortened version, but certainly Masters football at this level and the way it's being presented should give us a spot on primetime TV.
What is very interesting, just behind the Bayland Masters goal, we see a number of youth enjoying themselves. They're having their own youth tournament, I am certain, which is good. Discipline is always important, and once they behave themselves, you know, they are always welcome. And here at the stadium, still no goals in this one. Bayland Masters 0. Familiar out of Canada. Wanting to be family of Bajans, trying to get a goal, but Barbados are not giving up anything at the moment as the Bayland Masters represent strongly. Here we go, this is dangerous. Chance there for La Familia. Good defensive work again. Danger averted. Bayland Masters 0. La Familia 0.
That's for sure. This one put us through to the inside right. Loses possession, then the ball makes its way with the pace that's on it to the over the goal line. You can see it now. This is some stuff from the previous clip there, Keith. Good first shot, keep parrying it away before the strikers could get in on it. It actually distributed.
Well, very, very careless play there by Bayland Masters, and John Hotsworth was a little bit slow in moving, and in the end it took the brilliance of the keeper coming off his line to avert the danger, and it will be a corner kick to La Familia. But they're definitely probing and searching, and one would have to believe that if it continues in that vein, they may get a goal. Bayland Masters would want to prove that they're defensively well organized, and they're going to try to keep them out. At the moment, there's Hotsworth again, defending for all he's worth, but they're under pressure at the moment. La Familia looking the stronger team and looking to take a shot, but they just can't. Bayland Masters strong in defense and looking to break on the counter-attack.
Back with La Familia again now, Keith, because we exchanging those passes are not as very accurate as you would want them to be. Again, it is the Bayland looking for the release. A little touch will get it past the defender. Superb sliding tackle though. Oh, referee. I think that's a yellow card. The guy went airborne. He's on the surface, but his legs were in the air. So the referee decided that that deserved a yellow on 22 minutes. And with it, that's the first yellow of the evening. I didn't see it to be ever so malicious, Keith, but again, the timing. And I'm 45 yards, 50 yards away. The referee's only 3 to 4 yards away, so I must give him the due respect that he sees it, how he calls it, how he sees it, and therefore I reckon that's a yellow card.
That is what I was speaking about, discipline. When you're playing Masters football, the key is being disciplined. When the referee blows the whistle, get on with the game. Don't go arguing. It makes no sense. So here we go now with Bayland Masters with a free kick. Surprisingly, the ball is played a little too straight into the path and into the arms comfortably for La Familia, who is looking to hit on the break. Bayland Masters having to defend. Only one defender back to defend at the moment. The ball runs into touch and it will be a goal kick. But Bayland Masters would have to be careful because intelligently the keeper from La Familia, the moment he caught the ball in his gloves, he played a leading, searching, probing ball. But in the end, the ball ran into touch, and Bayland Masters will try again down the right attacking side of midfield.
So as we await Grove action and the first goal, Bayland Masters in possession of it, but ball trippers off the left foot this time of the Bayland man, who gives up a throw-in. 24 minutes on the clock. Bayland Masters 0, La Familia of Canada 0. So it's the Bajan Keith versus the Canadian in this one. And what a turnout we have here at the National Stadium in Waterford. They make it a couple of thousand in here. The camera angle gives you the far side, but there are many, many more on the near side along those bars and concession areas where the Bajan delicacies were served all day long, Keith, and before I could even get my order in. Stuff had gone, and therefore I am sending out an SOS to Terry. He needs to put some of that chicken and fish on the barbecue grill, because when this is all over, my good friend Brell and I, as well as my Bimfc posse with Melvin Ibo Oxley and Julian Arnold, Roger Mears and Dale Greenwich, Dale Rudder for that matter as well, and the ladies of course, who so elegantly serve the patrons, will be popping on over to have a great time by Terry's food truck. Down the right goal, the La Familia lads, 50-50 challenge, and the arms are in the air. The referee has again fashioned the yellow card, I believe this time as a Bela man.
But this is the second yellow card, one for La Familia and one for Bela Masters.
So
But Bela Masters must recognize they're very close to halftime, and they need to just readjust, reorganize at the back and keep it tight, because La Familia are capable of scoring out of nothing.
definitely so. They're known, Keith, for running the ball into the back of the net very efficiently. They did it last time around. And I think that, having reviewed perhaps the video of being at the extra game itself, then the Jets from the Bela Masters will know the danger of La Familia out of Canada, and know that they too are looking to repeat, even although it was a couple of years back. They're looking to repeat here, take the trophy, the cash, and the bragging rights to Toronto, Canada. So we're 26 in, still awaiting that first goal. As we say good evening to young Marty Leacock, busy in the background, providing a few statistics for Commentator Sports Incorporated. And we thank him for it gracefully as well. This one now floated into the box itself as Sergio Marchant gets involved with a set piece, twisting and turning the ball, put across the box. Up comes goalkeeper Wayne Lovell, snatches with both hands and is able to quell any danger, pushing his defense out because he's going to look to whip one 45 yards up the pitch. He's in no man's land, basically finds a La Familia man. They exchange the little 1-2, and away they go down the right hand side. Ball played nicely between Jermaine Coleman and the likes of the number 6, Danny Sana. Sana plays wide left this time, stretching the Danes defense, and they're on the attack down the left hand side, just looking like a dangerous play here. Can he deliver the pass? He does. Fits out of the hands of Harding, dives acrobatically, Keith, and gets it on his second time of asking. Excellent goalkeeping, good cross as well. It still remains at a 0-0. Excuse me, we're seeing the quality of the La Familia team as they execute that 1-2 and going down the line and putting the ball across, and Bela Masters shuffling back in numbers, and of course using the skill and guile and athleticism of the likes of Wayne Novel to keep them in the game. 0-0 after 28 minutes.
And that is so true. A brilliant move from La Familia, an excellent goalkeeper to avert the danger, and surely Bela must have worries, because every time La Familia comes forward, they look capable of breaking them down. Here we go with Bela Masters. They hold the ball up. Again, they're crowded out. They need to pass the ball a little earlier. They need to engage their brain a little bit more. The ball not going into the La Familia half very often, and Bela Masters desperately need to pass the ball early, do some running off the ball, not trying to hold on too long. And obviously if they can do that, they would worry the La Familia team a lot more. Here Bela Masters under pressure once again. Hotsworth gets them out with a nice toe poke, but again they've lost possession for the umpteenth time. Bela Masters 0. The coach is not happy with what he is saying for the Bela Masters, but they will need to settle a lot better in the second half as we approach the end of the first half.
Yes, 29 minutes into it, Keith.
29 minutes gone. Bela Masters 0. La Familia out of Canada 0. If you're now joining us on CBC TV, we still have a second half to play, and hopefully it is Barbados versus Canada, and I believe everyone at home will be rooting for Barbados. But surely they are our visitors, and we want to treat them well But on the field of play, Bayland Masters want to win because they're over 50 team lost to Paradise by 1 goal to 0. So as we go inside the last minute of the first half, Trevor, did you believe we'll get a goal before halftime?
It's all looking a bit pedestrian to me now, Keith. They seem to have settled that the half will end perhaps 0-0. There haven't really been a whole heap of chances. But again, it is a midfield battle that's going to need some adjustments in order to get the goal that's required. So which coach will it be to make the necessary change going into the second half will probably come out trumps at the end.
Well, yes, the coaches would say we are close to halftime, keep it tight at the back, keep ball possession, run the clock down, and let us plan for the second half. The Dames, through Hawksworth, have not turned the ball into touch. La Familia with a chance to build up on the right attacking side of midfield. They're halfway inside the Bayland Masters team. Bayland Masters 0, La Familia 0. We are into time added on for stoppages. The whistle is gone, so that is the conclusion of the first half, and we look forward with great anticipation to some goals in the second half.
Yeah, we certainly do, Keith. That was, I wouldn't say it was passive or pedestrian. There was some industry in it. It needed a bit more guile and creativity in the midfield, like from the likes of Troy Dixon, wearing 14 for Bayland, Ryan James wearing the number 4, Corey Niles 37. But in the end, they couldn't get the ball up to Christopher Holmes, who I'm almost sure had a hat-trick of goals in either the first game of the season, in this one, or the second. And therefore, he needs some service to provide the goods that the Bayland are depending on. And of course, in the middle of the midfield, Danny Sana, he too needs to step up to the plate and assist with the 2 balls. He and Peter Firebrace, those are the 2 that really need to get the game going, so that the likes of the La Familia team and fans can be up and cheering. At this point in time, stalemate, 0-0, 30-odd minutes. That's the first half, and we're heading for second half action. I'm almost sure the very busy Martin Leacock is going to be with us just now to interview Vice Chairman, one of 2 Vice Chairmen of Bimfc. This time around, I think he's going to Julian Anel. Martin?
All right, welcome back to the National Stadium. We're here right now with Mr. Julian Anel, one of the Vice Chairmen of the Organizing Committee for the Barbados International Masters Football Classic. Julian, you're one of the men in charge. How's the tournament been for you? How's it going?
It's been a tearing 4 days. The 365 days leading up to it have been really easy, but it takes a lot to put it all together. We've got a good crew, organizing committee, and we're working tirelessly to keep it happening.
You've been here from inception, Julian, from your time 25 years ago. How has that journey been? Talk us through the dream, the realization of the goal, and how has it been over the years?
Well, it was easy for me as a football lover, working in sports tourism. This is a fantastic part of it. I'm staying with it because it's just natural for me. The other guys are all football lovers as well. We just want to keep the game happy with it. This weekend is not a weekend to be happy. These people look forward to this competition. From the time since started, we would say to Richmond to keep this going. And we had a chance to. And as you can see, people were waiting for it. They loved it the first time we picked it up. And they're back out after the COVID delay we had. We kept everything alive as much as we could during COVID. We're here now.
I was actually chilling here with a fellow patron, and we were looking at the turnout and how massive the turnout has been for the tournament. And can you speak to that? Can you tell us how you feel about that?
That's a good turnout. It's not anything that we didn't expect. People will be wanting to come out and watch football, play football. Football has a very, very big following. Cricket, maybe the main sport of footballers have a lot of support, and we just want to bring that back. Masters want to keep playing football. It's good recreation, good time to hang out. And we just want to keep it alive. As you can see, they're out in the numbers.
So it's safe to say that it's been a success so far. Can you speak to plans going forward? Are we going to see the tournament continuing to happen going forward?
Yes, that's the plan. As soon as this tournament is finished, we go into our marketing strategies where we reach out to a lot of countries. We're in Europe. We've got good Canadian contingent coming here, and the areas in Canada we haven't touched. The UK, we've got the Cockney Rebels, who've been coming here for at least 20 plus years. They won the over 50s plate. They're overjoyed. They keep coming. We're going to try to just bring more and more and more, because as I say, COVID slowed a lot of things down. You have a chance to put it on, and if you have a full year with the assistance of various sponsors, we'll be able to push this to the market this year. I expect this going to be at least 4 times bigger next year at the same time.
The diversity definitely in a lot of the teams that we're seeing here is very, very refreshing to see. Can you for persons that may be wondering, can you speak to the process of how you guys go about recruiting, or how persons are made aware of the tournament and then vis-a-vis want to come and get involved?
Well, we've got a website where they can go on www.mfc.org, and there's also a Facebook page, and most of it is from word of mouth as well, from the participants who come back, who've been coming. We'll be able to keep it. Actually, we've taken it to another level, and they like that because the stadium's never been used, and most of it used to be a particular ground, so we've upped it a bit, and they like that because these folks are accustomed to a certain standard. We're trying to raise that standard in all aspects, organizing it, make sure it happens. Just trying to keep the football alive, all for the love of the beautiful game. That's what it is.
Definitely. In terms of the turnout this year, though, because we know many things have been, many walks of life, pretty much all walks of life have been affected by COVID. The turnout this year, how have you seen that? How's that been for you post-COVID?
Well, we've done well actually, because we've been able to keep the ones that were already booked coming. We were able to capture them, so we know over the full year now, without COVID, we'll be able to put more teams here.
All right, thank you so much again for joining us, Julian. All the best of luck going forward. You've put on a wonderful tournament so far, and we look forward to coming back for many years to come.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So thank you, Marty. Thank you, Vice Chairman of Bimfc, Julian Anel, all camera crew, live and direct from the National Stadium, Waterford. Yours truly, Trevor Thorne from Competitive Sports Incorporated, and the Vice Chairman of the Barbados Invitational Masters Football Classic, known as Bimfc. Alongside me, the maestro, Mr. Keith Griffith. He and I will take you through the second half here. At present, evenly poised between these two big McGuffies, I call them. Bayland Masters in the salmon pink jerseys, up against this evening La Familia from Canada. White jerseys, white shorts, black socks, sprinkled with orange, and therefore easiest could be to pick up on the commentary set here, Keith. At present, we're still 0-0. Slight correction is needed perhaps on the score sheet there, but we haven't seen the goal as yet.
Well, I like what you said, sprinkle. Yes, 0-0 the scoreline. Should be an intriguing second half, and I definitely anticipate goals. As the players begin to get a little weary, I anticipate maybe 2 or 3 goals. Who will score them? I'm not sure. Bayland Masters, a straight offside, and it will be an early free kick to La Familia out of Canada. And Clever, you said just before halftime, your estimation of the amount of people here at the stadium, how many?
I'll give you a rough estimate as I look across here. The camera hasn't actually picked up all of those totally on the near side, and the near side contains a whole lot more than on the far side. I'd say we got about 3,000 or so in, Keith. This side is
3,000? Oh my goodness.
Is that a bit short of what you're thinking? Probably more. I didn't want to over-exaggerate at all, but I can see thousands in front of me, which the camera hasn't actually picked up as yet, because it's way down inside where the actual stands are, where people can actually sit. The first couple of steps, not steps, seats are available for fans to sit, but what the Masters, what they rather would do is to congregate around the beverages, around the bars and the food. And they're having their conversations and debating about this actual game and everything else there is to debate in life. And that's what Masters is all about. But here comes La Familia down the left-hand side. They've gone 2-on-1. They're looking to create a chance here. Ball played inside. Nice patient stuff. A good tackle there from the Baylan Masters. Wins possession. Here they come now. 2 touches. That's the 3rd touch. Coming out of their defense now. Hesitates to play down the line. Instead it comes inside. Spreading it wide. Looking for some overlapping from Leon Todd. Control of the ball now. Play that leading ball. And it's not useless, but it's a bit ambitious. And therefore I would think a bit more patience in the immediate restart after the 30th minute will probably give you a lot more rewards, Keith. To be so ambitious at that time, playing it so hard when the muscles are not really warmed up, your chance in giving away the ball there.
The problem with the Baylan team is that when they do counter-attack, they only counter-attack with 2 players. They need 3 or 4 players to put pressure on La Familia. Just in case they lose the ball, then they will have men behind the ball. But if you only counter with 2 persons, your passing has to be accurate and you have to be moving at top speed. And at 40 and over, you can't be that fast. You see what I mean again? This is going to be 1-on-1 game against one. He will have to go it alone. There's no support for him, and they would have to come back again, Trev. And that's the main problem, technically and tactically, with the Baylan Masters. The passing and the tactical awareness of how to play the ball in behind the La Familia defense is not there. They're trying to go 1-on-1, but it is not happening. And hopefully the coach will see that and check and get the message out as quickly as possible. Get the ball, play it wide, cut inside, the players coming in to get on the end of the courses. Baylan Masters 0, La Familia 0.
So the Baylan team continues to problem probe down this right-hand side for the Baylan. It's the left side for La Familia over Canada. Losing possession again. The Canadians now looking to make their way down the left there. They get possession. Up to the middle of the midfield they go. A bit of trickery now coming in from the Canadians as they go in search of goal number 1. That's Hetian Sultan, number 20, showing skill and guile there, Keith, and able to win a throw-in.
Yeah, he was trying some trickery, but in the end it didn't work for him. The one thing I noticed that La Familia doing quite often, they're making those rolling subs so that they always seem to got fresh legs coming on. Baylan Masters will probe and search down the right, but there's no support at the moment. Here we go, La Familia outnumbering the Baylan Masters team, and hopefully the Baylan Masters would recognize that and rectify that. Shot comes in, just wide. Good move by Baylan Masters, should have been on target. A lovely ball played in from the right-hand side of midfield, but when the shot came in, it was going agonizingly close, but definitely not on target. Baylan Masters 0, La Familia 0.
I'm still tired, it's a stalemate, but there's hope that we will get a goal within the 60 minutes. But at this point in time, it is a 0-0 tie. Goal kick. Sabatino Scala up the field. It goes. La Familia still in possession. Looks to float one far side. It's danger here. Good control. Oh, he looks to lay it on a platter for his strike partner, Hatian Sultan. But in the end, the ball trickles harmlessly back to goalkeeper Wayne Lovell. That would be, and the danger averted. Throwing to La Familia as they continue to do what they've been doing all season long, Keith. What they do is this starting 11 isn't the 11 that is playing right now. They continue to roll those substitutes in, out, fresh legs, upon fresh legs. And therefore, if you're not smart enough, you're playing against a brand new 11 every 10 or 15 minutes. So you two may need to do something.
That is definitely so. Very, very intelligent substitutions. Let them roll, because the fresher the legs, the better. Here he goes again. Danger once again. Good coverage by Baylan Masters. But this is where Bailan Masters are falling down. They don't have the players. You see, they've lost possession again. They win it back. Can they conjure up some magic? No, they can't. They've won a free kick. So that is what I was speaking about earlier, Trevor. When Bailan Masters go forward, they do not have enough men coming out of the midfield and overlapping from the wing-backs position to give them that opportunity, maintain possession, confuse the La Familia defense a little bit, and get a shot in. At the moment, La Familia seem to be tactically and technically the better team, but Bailan can do better if they make those substitutions more profitable and more often.
So we await that first goal. Yours truly, Trevor Thorne, alongside the maestro again, Keith Griffith. My career would have started with Curtis Hines and Paul Mears from Starcom Network fame, the A-team. The first break into commentary through those guys, and subsequently was linked and joined in commentary with Keith Griffith. So I waited on every word and I phrased my commentary on stuff that Keith would say, like a child's dream basically. You got your mentor, you see him operating at a certain level. Here's a chance here, put across the box, good save this time from Scala. Ball breaks kindly for La Familia into the feet of Pablo de Nicola, and smart little play there gives the, in fact no, comes off of the La Familia man last. And another substitution, Keith, 9 in 4, 23 in a flash.
They're more than rolling the subs. They're doing the subs in Belgian parlance. And thanks for the compliments of being your mentor. But I must say, when people ask me if I was trained in England to commentate, I told them no. Most of my commentary came down in New Orleans, where I was born. And when we finish practicing on the evenings, I will do more commentary. And when I first started to play my career at a senior level with Wales, the famous Glass, Clark and Company, they would always say, Grell, give us some commentary on how the practice has gone. But there were 3 gentlemen, Trevor, who brought me into commentary at Kensington Oval many, many years ago. A blessed good evening to Sam Wilkinson, Morris Greenwich, and the late Don Neville, may he rest in peace. Yes, I started my career with those gentlemen down at Kensington, and I thank them very much. And commentating comes easily for me, for not only football, road tennis, horse racing is a gift from God. But no, I was never trained in England. I was trained in England at Southampton to be a coach, and then on to Tottenham Hotspurs, Chelsea, and Arsenal. Lots of people don't know this. What time did you come to Barbados as a youngster?
Barbados was 1975, I believe it was, 75.
So you're a total bitch, you know.
Yeah, it came to Barbados, and because of the way I saw the level, I wasn't quite interested, because we weren't really fully structured then. We were still at the garrison and so on, didn't have a really home for football. So I went into my studies and did computer science and so on, and I meshed that science now to form CSI, which gives me statistics that I can use to commentate on and run tournaments too, because it takes a lot of planning when it comes to time and resources, what buses you're going to send where to which hotels and the whole 9 yards. You've got to have the schedules. So that came in handy, and as you said then, not knowing what you really wanted to do, but then finding a love for, in this case, commentary. And here today, that's a beautiful ball, foot race between 2, out comes goalkeeper Wayne Lovell, and lashes a 70-yarder, clears his lines, and the defence under no pressure whatsoever. La Familia with possession, there's some skill, there's some guile, Keith, he draws the foul.
They have a lot of tricks with the ball. They're very intelligent players, and surely Bailan Masters must know that they have to tackle them early, get them dispossessed. And I could not leave this commentary this evening if I did not mention all of my friends from overseas who assisted me as a technical director in their country, and also some good friends who live in Boston and New York and Canada, etc., etc. And my son Trevor, my eldest son Ian Innes, he is listening, and he came over on Tuesday to be with me, and I am so proud of him. He just turned 56, Trevor. His name is Ian Innes, better known, he played for Eden Lodge in his early days, known as the Snail, because the way he played in midfield, lots of touches. Good evening, my son.
What do you mean the snail, Keith?
Pardon?
Snail?
Snail, yeah, because he never ran fast.
Slow and methodical.
I'm methodical, yes. So good evening, my son, and to those guys who are watching and over there liming with him, blessings to each and every one of you. To the Mills family and all those nice people, again, like I said, up in Wildy and the Pine, at Cyril and down in the Orleans and the Deacons Farm area, where you have another son, Adrian. Blessings. And to Akil Mills, have a good evening along with your daughter Diamond. But we back here at the stadium again, still 0-0 as we roll inside the last few minutes of the game. Trevor, exactly how many minutes remain on the clock?
We are 48, the 43rd minute, so as you can tell, we're not very many, 17 or so to go.
17 minutes, and if it's deadlock at the end of the 60 minutes, then we go straight into penalty kicks.
As the lights come up here at the National Stadium, Waterford, haven't been used very often, Keith, so they're going to need a little bit of burning to get them up to maximum. But so far we can see good quality on the TV screen, so we're good to go. Earlier, just want to bring you right back to somewhere around 11:45 in the over 40s third place playoff. The C.O. Williams Building Masters 7, Leighton Griffith or Scholars 0. That's a massive spanking.
That's a trashing.
By Gregory Nalugudridge and the guys over debutant team Leighton Griffith. Welcome to Masters 7-0. Good stuff here from La Familia. The left foot deployed. Keeper will have to do some damage here to catch that ball. Landed on his back rather harshly, but then rolled sensibly to avoid any injury as well. So that's the over 40s third place playoff. The C.O. Williams Building Masters 7-0 over Leighton Griffith. The over 50s plate was won by, guess who? Cockney Rebels.
Wow.
Of the UK, mate.
Yeah.
Cockney Rebels. Cockney Rebels won on penalties, 6 goals to 5. And on that one, they took out Toronto Football Club of Friends over 50s. Yeah, 6-5. 1-1 at full time. 6-5 on penalties to Cockney Rebels. Well done, gentlemen. They've been coming here for 25 years.
Wow.
For
5 years, that is great.
Excellent stuff. We want to recognize
How many teams you had from overseas?
Yeah, well, this year it was 6 overseas teams and we invited 20 local teams. There were many more local teams, but because of the slow response in getting back into training, just weren't ready. Last year we had 32 locals and had to be reduced down to 20. So we got 12 teams of sitting out there, not playing any football right now. And that's a harsh reality of those that can. Chance here. Oh, it's a
brilliant save from Lovell.
Lovell with 2 hands on it, Keith. Almost hit his head onto the post, but yes, he needed to go there. He went with it's the long throw, it's a set play again. You're looking for the attacking header onto the defensive one. Right foot volley, this time coming in from Machart, and brings the best out of Wayne Lovell, diving far to his right, almost colliding with the post as well. 0-0 the score, but we have beautiful action. It's excellent here at the at the National Stadium, Waterford. We keep speaking about the BFA turf really because we're normally there doing our commentary for both Premier League and we do Masters there as well. So I apologise if every now and then a slip of the tongue puts me at the BFA turf when we're really a couple of miles away at the National Stadium, Waterford, St Michael, just outside of Bush Hall, and enjoying the sweet St George breeze coming off the valley there. Still 0-0 on 46 minutes. Bayland Masters 0, La Familia 0.
Well, that was brilliant goalkeeping from Wayne Lovell. He read the script very well. He dived to his right, parried the ball down, and eventually the danger was averted. But every time La Familia has gone forward in the second half, they look capable of scoring. Bayland Masters will need to get on top of the ball, control the ball, keep possession, organize flanks, play the ball wide, get the crosses in to bring La Familia defense. They're playing with 3 centre backs, and to break them down, you need to get the ball in positions to draw 1 or 2 of the central defenders out and then get your shots in. I will want to compliment both teams so far, but we wait that goal, which is long in coming. Corner to Bayland Masters as they try to attack down the right attacking side of midfield.
So as they do that, Keith, we continuously would want to thank everyone that came on board with Bimfc this year. We couldn't do it without you folks. One of those companies, as we await this corner kick, we'll speak about that later. It's a defensive header, very well done. Defended, the right foot shot attempted, spicing off the right boot, really not really causing any trouble. But let's introduce you to one of those sponsors, Keith. Gyra Consultants Inc. is led by a managing director, and his name is Mr. Emerson Webster. He's a footballer, Keith, and he searched us out and he said he wanted to put something in here for the MVP. And therefore, the winner of the MVP, perhaps, well, it's going to be shared between the 50s and the 40s, but we'll have 2 MVPs. But certainly, he's been able to fuel that fire for us. He's a chartered quantity surveyor, has been involved in the construction industry for almost 35 years. Emerson is an avid footballer and has played for several local clubs, including the likes of Maxwell, Brindle, Jackson, Benfica, Blackrock Masters, and Wanderers Masters as well. So Gyra Consultants Inc. is pleased to sponsor the MVP awards, that is, for the 2022 Bimfc. So these are players that will play through season after season and now see the need to give back to Masters football. They love it, the sport that they love, they want to put something back in. And we want to say thank you very much to Gyra Consultants for doing that, especially to Managing Director Mr. Emerson Webster, and his company can be reached easily at 434-6734. So there are sponsors. I want to say thank you very much. You can also reach him on Facebook at his time. Just look for Gyra, J-I-R-E-H, Consultants Inc. Thank you very much, Mr. Webster. Back to the live action here. The lights are up and on here at the National Stadium, Waterford. And with it, we await the goal that will take the team that most deserves it, most wants it, to the pinnacle, where the trophies, as you can see, you may be able to see in one of your shots down below, are being set out. And what a glorious sight, Keith, those trophies are right now. My goodness, I wish I was playing. Looks as though I would want to grab one.
It is not too late, Trevor.
I wish I can see a whole row of individual trophies for the winners of the 50s, the winners of the 40s. I can also see trophies for the cup finals as well. This is superb stuff, if I do say so myself. Really assisted there, Julian Anel, his daughter, I believe that is there, helping us out as well. I believe Seth is somewhere with a Bimfc shirt on, trying to make sure the bars are all covered with what they need. So, family affair. We got our children.
La Familia.
Actually, yeah, La Familia. we're in on the action here as well. On this near side, you can see Tonya Dean, and I believe on the far side is FIFA assistant ref Kevin Clark as well. So we have the FIFA accredited officials dominating what happens on the sidelines and so on, making sure the decisions are correct. But we have a stoppage, and I'm not sure what it's about, but referee is conversing with Tonya Dean.
Could be the lights.
Not necessarily so. They're on right now. We can see the shadows are lengthening across the pitch, and this should take us through, because last night we used these lights as well to finish off our games, and we were here till about 10:30, 11 basically. So we can keep rolling, and as I said, we've given enough time with our partners, the CBC TV crew, in order to get through this production, and we're almost there. We're just about 10 minutes or so to go. We should get through before it's too late.
Well, that would be very, very good. Ambitious looking hook shot from La Familia. They would try again. Ball played in, and in the end, good defensive coverage. Bayland Masters will look to roll and scroll down the left side. The whistle is gone. They've given away a free kick right in the middle of their own half. 9 minutes remain officially on the clock. Remember, there will be no extra time. Should the game be deadlocked after the 60 minutes, we go straight into penalty kicks. And at the moment, La Familia lining up a free kick just outside of the Bayland Masters penalty area. Will he bend it? Will he turn it? Or will he kick it over the crossbar? Shot comes in, and that is more of a rugby kick than a free kick. Ball always climbing, always rising, and going far and wide. No goals. But Trevor, that was a wasted free kick.
Yeah, they're, I just said, a bit ambitious. What I did like just before that, Keith, I saw the attempted bicycle by Pablo de Nicola. Yeah, he excellently flipped over it, struck it with the right boot, but just didn't have enough on it to trouble the keeper. But you can see the intentions was to surprise the keeper with it and stick it into the far corner. So it's these type of plays that you would want to see. There's Nicola again. He's busy like a bee. He's one of those creative midfielders, lots of skill, lots of creativity, and looks as though he can finish as well because
and he looks very fit.
Yeah, definitely so. As I said, the fact that they're rolling the subs the way they are gives him the chance to breathe, see the game technically and tactically, and then know when they inject it into the game what to do. So that's kind of like a different way to play Masters football, rather than saying you get 30-40 minutes to play all the time. As we await this, the through ball, it's one-on-one, we get past his defending, does so now, second challenge comes in, and it's very good defending by the BLM Masters, as the gents are not familiar with bearing down on goalkeeper, and that certainly looked like an opening they would have taken advantage of. They've won a corner though, but they were certainly taking advantage of that.
Well, one of the players had gone down on the far side, so we have to wait. They're calling on the medics, and he is near to the sideline, so maybe he can roll off there and let BLM Masters make another substitution, because they're going to be under pressure here from this corner kick, and all they need to do is let the player go off the field totally and bring on the substitute. Yes, they're about to do that, I believe. BLM Masters 0. They're beginning to get weary as we go inside the last few minutes of the game. BLM Masters 0. La Familia out of Canada 0.
Keith, the amount of 54 on the clock, the amount of vehicles that we've seen on the far side suggests there's a couple more thousand in than I thought. I'll tell you that for sure, because now you're stretched across. Now you're stretched across the area there, we can actually see that in those vehicles would have had passengers for sure, and therefore the numbers are swelling as we get down to the final moments of this one, and they're also swelling, just by the way, in the bar areas.
The refreshment area.
Refreshment. We know why, because Masters is synonymous with having a beverage.
Correct.
Whether it be coconut, as you said, coconut water, or otherwise. Yeah, guys normally will have a beverage and have a conversation about the match and how life is going and so on. The real relaxed Barbadian life. You too can have that same experience.
That is so true.
Go to www.bbsmfc.org, and that will get you to BIMFC's webpage. You can register your team wherever you are in the world, no problem. We can assist you with them, what flights come, how regular they come during the week and the weekend. And in a flash, just like that, you're registering and bringing the sport over to play international football, like what you're seeing here on the screens, for sure. We're also on the World Wide Web. It's BIMFC246, that's our Instagram handle. Pushing and shoving there. If he sees it, that the familiar man. Just ease on back. There's a little bit of a melee. It's not necessary. I think Dixon is involved in there. Dixon wearing the number 14, I believe, having a little bit of a chat.
And there's no need for that. You know, you need to be disciplined. Have discipline and everything will go perfect.
And by the way, we're also on Facebook at Barbados Invitation Masters Football Classic. So plenty of ways to find us. And once you do, we can talk you through the process of registering your international team to make your way over to BIMFC. We're always running the tournament at Whitsun Weekend, so just Google that Whitsun Weekend in 2023 and you too could be a part of the action. 4 days, 4 wonderful days in Barbados playing football, and the other days are yours to explore north, south, east and west of Barbados, where the beaches are absolutely gorgeous and the people are the heartbeat nation. That's a right foot shot coming in from the Nicola. Harmless in the end, Keith. And so far, they haven't laid a glove on one another, really, have they? And we're with 57 minutes on the clock. I would think we're going to head for some penalty kicks, which are going to be viewers on the edge of their seats. It is a lottery. There will be the victor, and then the vanquished. The vanquished will obviously shed a tear of disappointment, but there will also be tears of joy for the winning team as well.
3 minutes remain on the clock. It's really winding down, and then we'll be down to penalty kicks. La Familia 0, Bayland Masters 0. And really and truly, Trevor, I feel totally blessed and honored to be here with you and your committee and CBC TV and all the sponsors to give me that inspiration to go on and go on. And with God's continued blessing, I hope that we will get a chance to do commentary again in 2022. We are down to the last 2 minutes of the game. La Familia 0, Bayland Masters 0. Bayland Masters hoping to probe and search and find the goal. La Familia looking to do likewise. To all of those people who are associated with the organization and the sponsorship of the tournament, God's blessing on you. Stay healthy, stay safe, and keep it real.
That we will do for sure, Keith. Thank you very much. And the same to you as well. 58 on the clock, just 2 minutes to go before we head for the dreaded penalty kicks. And with it, the lineup for the Bayland Masters, they're going to be in level. A couple of changes being made, but we're seeing still number 2, John Hawksworth and Brian Neville partnering to form that formidable two at the back for the Bayland Masters. Kurt Beckles marshalling the defence as well as Leon Todd. In the middle of the midfield, Troy Dixon, known for skill and guile. Wayne James is there for the tough tackling. Corey Niles for his wing play. And the likes of Christopher Holmes, who puts the ball into the back of the net quite often for this Bayland team. At present though, we are seeing that in the 50s tournament, because there were 2 Barbadian teams in it, then we obviously have the trophy, the funds and everything staying in the island. That hasn't happened for very often, basically. Last year it did because Blackrock Masters, not last year, sorry, 2019 when the tournament was held, Blackrock Masters did a very good job and took away the 50s. At present, it could easily be going back to Canada, to La Familia. There could be a brand new winner in Bayland Masters. So let's see which way it goes. We're now minutes into it. We're, in fact, just about 1 minute to go before we head for penalties. Certainly we've had a fabulous evening here through Bell Imagery Production. With that we've been able to capture all of the images of the 2022 Barbados Invitational Masters Football Classic. You too could experience the same quality of entertainment if you were to register your team with us at Bimfc. You can reach us at www.bdsmfc.org. Therefore, you know,
I will call you back in a minute.
to go, basically. The lights are up. The sun has now set, basically. It's also, the sun has set, I believe, on the 60 minutes that was allotted. We're heading for penalty kicks. It's a penalty shootout. It's the most excitement that you'll get in any match. If nothing else happens in the game, you're certainly going to get goals here, because each and every player wants to bulge the old onion bag in order to allow for their team to put their hands on one of those trophies in front of us at this point in time. The sponsors' banners are being placed where they should be. The TDC, a major factor in why we're here today as far as HD quality TV. We want to produce the evidence that Masters football is a very good product. Back the company Bimfc. Thank you very much to the TDC, as well as BTMA, as well as BTMA, supporting us in a very big way. Infinity on the beach for sure. As well, we've been able to have those concession stands all over the place. Quality of food, beverages. So we're at the point, Keith, where nothing else matters now. The ball needs to be placed into the back of the net. If you get it done, you walk away with the prize money, trophy, don't train all the way into 2023. You wish you had put it left instead of right. You wish you could have a save, so you better be on your best behavior and use the right technique to get the ball into the back of the net.
Well, that is so true, and you were a prolific penalty scorer, if my memory serves me correctly. So this should be very, very, very interesting. Who will win the toss? Who will take the first penalty? And the team who scores first always has the opportunity to put the other team under pressure. Because if you miss one penalty, then mentally the other team is under tremendous pressure. Lovell looked brilliant in the goal for Bayland Masters, and the Canadian keeper also looked impressive. So it will come down to technique in the end. Bayland Masters looking to win the toss probably and shoot the penalties. They've now tossed. They will decide which goal they will take the penalties. We wait and see what will transpire.
The interview this evening, Keith, brought to you with the compliments of Bell Imaging Production and Riverino Media. Of course, thank you very much, gentlemen. Bayland Masters know that familiar with the Canada know penalty kicks is what's going to decide this one. We've already spun the toss. We know which keeper is going into the goal bar to save first, and we also know who's going to kick the first penalty. Been in this position many times, Keith.
And they're going down to the far side to take the penalties.
Yeah, they're going to our left. Therefore, production crew smartly set up so they can catch it from that angle as well. Whether he saves, whether it's close or not, you should get those images as well. And with it, a reminder then it's La Familia in the white jerseys trimmed with orange and salmon pink, we call it, of the Bayland Masters. Winston Enterprises Bayland Masters. So here we go. This is the final, this is the finale basically. We've had the football all day. Ironically enough, many of the finals have ended with the penalty kicks and so on as well. So here we have it again, and we'll need full concentration from both keepers as well as those who are going to look to take the actual penalty kicks. You need to concentrate and you need to bring your A-game technique. If the technique is any way flawed, the keeper will save you. So let's see what's going to happen. The fans, as you know, will start to draw near. They've forgotten about the caution tape. They're drawing a little bit nearer and to take the first penalty, because we're seeing Lovell going into the goal bar. It looks as though he's going into the goal bar first, or he will be possibly taking the first penalty. We'll wait and see. But it's all happening here. Here we have the other view. So we're at the what we consider to be the lumber company end to our left here at the National Stadium, Waterford. A bit of a chat with a spectator there. You know, obviously they're telling him you will not be able to stay behind the goal bar, sir. So kindly grab your beverage and kick to the right.
And like I said it before, discipline is the key. A good name. For Ecclesiastes, verse 7, a good name better than precious ointment. Do have a discipline, gentlemen. There's no need to go on the field. You're not involved in the play. Why would you want to go on the field and disturb anybody at this time? And in God's blessing, we wish you well. I remember many years ago, Trevor, it always stands out in my mind when I work at the Sports Council. I was here to the Decisive Finals. And that great man from St. Philip, he sang a song, "The country sick, the country in well. Let us Bajans and our visitors make our country better and better." As we speak, the players have assembled. The Canadian La Familia team are standing together while the Bayland Masters are sitting, and the officials are waiting for them to step up and take these penalties. So, Trevor, as we wind it down, we wait to see what is going to transpire.
Here in the shop we have Pedro Aguiar. He's our official Bimfc photographer, so he's got one of those sophisticated cameras that can zoom from 60 to 70 yards, keep pick up the bottom of the top left collar and so on. So he's going to take some shots for us. Look up for them on our social media handles. Bimfc 246. It's Instagram, Invitation Master Football, Facebook. And also reach us through
La Familia seemingly are going to take the first penalty kick.
looking that way. You can also reach me at Trevor Scores. That's my Instagram and Facebook. And finally by my name. So we ended Bayland Masters nil, La Familia of Canada nil. It's taking the time about getting it all sorted. I'm not sure what the issue is. Because normally you'll go straight to penalties without any issues, but for some reason there's a discrepancy of some type in rating. There's a time factor. I'm not sure what that really means. But the evening dawns now, the night time. The lights are on, and therefore we'll expect them to get going very shortly. On the opposite side, Keith, the youngsters, the 7, 8, 9-year-olds are having a match in the other goal. So you know there's action over there.
Yeah, they were playing behind the goal before, but now they've come inside the goal. You just need to stay on that side, and the spectators need to stay on the sideline. And I'm certain that La Familia is going to have the first penalty kick.
So we are seeing the Masters keeper on the level in to the goal. And obviously will be joined coming into the frame now by the La Familia man wearing number 18, I think it's Jerome Coleman. So Coleman will go up against Wayne Lovell. Let's see how this one turns out. Coleman, not known to me as a score so much because we looked at last year's stats and I didn't see Coleman taking a penalty. La Familia won on penalties against Paradise at the BFA Tour in 2019 on penalties, and therefore I was looking for those same ones. I see what's happening now. We're bringing a bit more light to the occasion to Williams Industries. And those massive lights that really spots of 4 people like wanted the facility. Thank you very much, Williams, coming to the rescue at the right moments. You can depend on them. And once they have that light in focus, then yes, the casino is even getting better here, Keith, as far as that is concerned. So the penalties will be taken momentarily. We'll go back to the actual first 5 that we'll take. You need those listed. That's what the referee will go by. And you go down that sheet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as far as penalty takers. They go one behind the other. First team, then the next team. And with it, at the end of 5, the team that leads will be crowned the winner. If it's tied, with the sudden death penalties where Team A kicks, Team A.
They seem to be going to the other goal.
Maybe that's the case because of the lighting. There's a possibility because that's perhaps the safest bet. This side on the left is slightly darker for some reason. Lights haven't really popped in all at one go. So maybe it might be a safer bet to go with the one that is.
Right, so they may have to bring this light down the other side.
That's a possibility too, but this side is always pretty good because I saw last night on the left hand side there's a slight dimness of the lighting, and we had this particular emergency light put in place, but I think, as you said, it's probably better to go on the other side where we know the lights are always crystal clear. That's right there. Also thanks to Banks as well, who came on board and has given us a lot of support over the last 25 years and continue to partner with us. The cameraman switches focus to the right side of the National Stadium, Waterford, and we're confirming that the penalty taker will be
on the right.
The man we spoke about. I think his name is Jerome Coleman. And if Coleman is anything to go by, he'll need to be on his A game. He's going up against a man that saved a number of times. Wayne Lovell stepped in, right foot saved. There's a flag up. There's a flag up as well. It's not on. I think there may have been a movement from one or the other, and they'll do a retake here because they're not allowed to get off that line, Keith, before the kick is taken. So here we go, referee having a word with Lovell. Lovell says, I'm not sure if you...
Well, Lovell need to come back on his bar before he get a card.
There you go.
He need to come back and try again.
He still has a job to do, doesn't he?
Yeah, the referee can't change his mind. He has made that decision that you moved too early.
And yeah, the thing is, the assistant ref, Tanya Dean, is just to the right of the picture there. So we go then again.
And what is the word I used early? Discipline.
Coleman shoots and misses.
He misses. All you have to do is go back and goalkeep.
So Coleman shoots and misses the target.
So Bayland Masters has a chance to take the lead and establish themselves and win the championship.
Bayland will now step up to take their first of this matchup. And if they hit the back of the nets, they will be in the ascendancy with their first penalty kick being dispatched correctly. A little bit of a run-up. He does a little bit of a rehearsal. He's taking 4 steps to this.
See, Lovell is going to get in trouble. The referee now give him a card. I don't know why he don't keep quiet. I mean, you have to use your intelligence. You're playing over 40s.
The level of discipline that's required.
Yeah, you get a yellow card. That's crazy.
If you don't exhibit, or top pocket, one is dispatched brilliantly in the top left-hand, right-hand corner, Keith.
Well, yes, that's a brilliantly taken penalty. Bayland Masters lead by 1-0. And if Lovell can just discipline himself, go and goalkeep, deny them, then it would give Bayland the advantage.
Keepers are always temperamental people, though, Keith. If you remember.
But you have to got common sense playing Masters. It is not like you're a junior. And what can he do? The referee said the penalty kick has to be taken over. La Familia miss it. You're on top. Dictate the tempo now. Stop arguing. Again, there he goes again. I will not be surprised, Trevor, if he's sent to the stands. And then Bayland Masters would have to send in a non-goalkeeper.
Someone that's inside the 11.
Yes.
On the field of play.
Yeah, on the field of play. So what he's doing is wasting time.
Dangerous tactics he's on, and he's putting himself under pressure as well.
Yes. Save this one.
So,
Or hope that they miss.
second penalty for La Familia. But missed the first. It's an easy finish as well.
Lovely finish. 1-1.
The keeper goes the wrong way. And they're back in it. La Familia with the second penalty and scored it very convincingly. The mind games continue because Lovell is clearly upset over everything that's happening, and he's throwing his game off. Basically, that's exactly what he's doing, and he won't be able to concentrate. He continues to run straight with assistant ref Tony Dean, and I think one of the management.
Right there, and they're sending that person away from there also.
So here we go.
I mean, it is nonsensical.
So 1-0 to La Familia. Now the Bayland just scored 1 goal apiece after 2 penalties each.
Bayland scored the first penalty.
Yes.
2-1 to Bayland.
Sorry, 2-1 now. Yeah,
2-1 now. He has scored. Yeah, 2-1. All Bayland need to do is score all their penalties and they win.
Yeah, at this stage, with one being missed already by La Familia, that's it.
Yes.
That's the mathematics of it. Because they're behind the 8 ball, La Familia, have to pull back, off the hook for something goes wrong in the Bayland camp when it comes to those penalties. So a long run up here. La Familia with their 3rd penalty. Missed the first, scored the second. Scores!
Lovely penalty again.
Scores for sure.
2-2. 2-2 the scoreline.
2. This is the real metal. If you played 4 days, you're not gonna. I mean, hopefully, you've got the brain power to stay with the game all the way
to
the end. It's 2 goals apiece with the Bela Masters. If they score, they go ahead 3 goals to 2. So a chance to make it 3, put pressure on La Familia. And as was Keith was saying, if they score all,
They win.
yeah, La Familia have theirs to take, but because they've missed one already, that's it. Penalty kick, blasted.
3-1.
To the right of
3-2, sorry.
to the right of the keeper. Beland, 3 goals to 2. There's 3 penalty kicks now. So Beland 3, La Familia 2, after 3 penalties each. 2 apiece to go. If it remains this way where everybody's scoring, the trophies, yes, 40s and 50s will remain in Barbados for the first time in ages. Normally an overseas team will take one of the trophies because of the skill level and the ability to play all 4 days.
F-level skates here, save now, that would be brilliant.
If he focuses, Keith, just focus now and he makes another save here, then he just really put the pressure on La Familia.
Yeah.
He's focused, shot comes in, easy finish.
Easy finish, 3-3.
Dispatched with a palm there, kind of like cool, calm and collected.
3-3.
Wants his team to stay in it. 3 apiece. But La Familia have taken 4 penalties at this point in time, missed 1. Chance for Bailan to put the pressure on again and make it 4-3 after a similar amount of penalties. I find coming from behind, Keith, when the team has scored, there's more pressure.
All the
They
time,
have to do the right
yes.
thing. So Bailan,
You can't miss. They can't afford to miss.
Bailan in a nice place.
If they score, they're going to win it.
See
Miss, he miss. They miss. He leave the door wide open.
And we have it now, Keith. We're coming down the wire.
He leave the door wide open.
Going to the wire. Should be over in just a couple minutes, folks.
Because if La Familia score, Bailan under pressure. They must score the last penalty. How could he miss that?
The score, yes, they put the pressure on the Bailan to score. We have 1 left as well.
And they could only draw.
And we draw
Then they go to sudden death.
So here we have it here. Folks, this is a prime way to end prime time TV as well. Brought to you by Imagery, yes, for sure, Productions and Rivellino Media. Here we go. Right foot shot. Misses the
He
target.
miss. No, Bailan win. Bailan win now. Bailan win now 4-3.
You have to score though, Keith.
They're going to score. They're going to score this.
You
4-3.
get a little bit ahead of yourself.
Yeah, 4-3.
It's still a matter.
You just know when the team can lose. La Familia, if La Familia had scored, right, it'd be bare pressure.
So at present, we're tied. La Familia have kicked 5 and have scored 3 of them.
Bailan Masters need to score to win.
Bailan Masters have kicked 4, scored 3 and missed 1. So they do have this chance to put this one to bed, basically. They will do that now. This is Hawksworth, former Barbados captain in the middle of the midfield. Sean Hawksworth is his name. He'll step up now, right-footed, to finish it for
Easy.
Bailan Masters.
Bailan Masters win, easy.
Winston Enterprises, Bailan Masters taking the over 40s, all trophies remaining in Barbados. Thank you very much. This is a celebration out of this world. Barbados teams have exceeded expectation and have really done it now. Hawksworth, the man of the moment, playing all the way through the tournament and being able to lead his team to the title as well. Surely a candidate for MVP. Bailan Masters 4, La Familia 3 on the penalty kicks, but just before that a 0-0 tie took us there, and that is that, Keith. Comments from Keith as Bailan take the title. Morrison Taylor, in our view, they just got to keep it injured by the Bailan Masters. They had to bring in a brand new keeper at some stage, and now they're triumphant. And handshakes all around. Even La Familia worthy opponents for losing, and in there jumping up and down as well, but they know it took something to get there. Off to the music, off to the Streetwise radio show.
Well, let me wrap it up from my end. John Hawksworth, a former national player, having to score that important penalty and helping Bailan Masters to win by 4 penalties to 3. I thoroughly enjoy doing the commentary with Trevor. God blessing to each and every one as Trevor looks to wrap it up in a moment's time.
Yes, so the tournament well orchestrated by CSA. And at this point in time, all we can say is thank you very much for everyone that made this a huge success. With Winston Enterprises, Bayland Masters, the over 40s champions, the over 50s champions were crowned as Paradise took the title. And therefore, excellent way of going home, sending you home to your armchair again. Earlier there was the third place playoff where CO Williams Wildy Masters beating Greater Griffith All Scholars 7-0, and the over 50s plate final, Cockney Rebels out of the UK taking the title there 6-5 on penalties after a 1-1 tie. Then followed exactly by the over 50s cup final where Paradise Masters 50s triumphed over the likes of the Winston Enterprises Bayland Masters. And then on the flip side, the over 40s final, the main trophy won by the Winston Enterprises Bayland Masters 40s team, this time beating the La Familia team on this occasion 4 goals to 3. Thank you very much here from CSI and the Bimfc. We'll see you the next time from Bell Imagery Productions and Rivelino Media. Thank you very much.